Salutations, my fellow lovers. It is Matty here, the lover of story-driven hentai with week 20 of the H.A.M Radio Podcast.
And it is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer.
Oh,
Noah, you interrupt me one more time.
God damn it. it's Lone Vault One. My name is Noah. I recently got off work at the Arc/Watch shop today, so that was fun.
Creative. You put a lot of time in that one.
Thanks. Yeah. I sold, real quick, I sold 2 women's handbags and 2 watches today. So.
Congrats.
Don't mean to brag, but...
I took a shit before this podcast. Last podcast, I forgot to, and I nearly crapped in my chair. Like, I had to tell the 2 guests we had, oh, yeah, my mom needs me real quick. I fucking mute my mic. I dart to the bathroom.
Did you just leave him to just sit there and talk?
And then Mallory, our other guest, left John, so he was just by himself for like 30 seconds.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I wish I have to find that in the fucking
We leave the podcast for 1 week, and that happened.
Yeah, I had to go so bad.
Just Sir John just sitting there.
He was like, so, how's everyone doing? I listened to it. It was funny. Like, he was just like so stuck.
Poor guy. Oh, that's good.
Legendary.
He deserves it.
Awesome.
Anyways, we have t-shirts linked down below. You want to support me and my hentai, Noah being a kangaroo, Lone being a kangaroo, or Noah on his arc, then you got shirts for that. You got shirts for being sexy. You got shirts for everything. Yeah, honestly, give us your money. Like, we're trying to rip you guys the fuck off.
I don't understand.
And just make a living off of you guys and your dedicated fanship. So just...
They're like, I'll buy it when I get paid.
I hate that.
Blows it all up.
I will honestly say, I was kidding before, but I hate when you guys do that to us.
Like, don't let me know when you want to buy it. Let me know when you bought it. Then I'm like, oh,
so
all right, sweet.
bad.
The fucking hours of work I put into setting this shit up paid off. But no!
You guys are actually getting aggressive. Give me your money.
I'm fine. Let's just move on.
All right, yeah. Anyways, we want you guys to be the 4th member of this podcast. See, you don't buy our shirts, but we still want to bring you guys in here. And so, that 4th member can join us if they answer the following question with the hashtag H.A.M Radio Time. Tweet at any of us on screen. What is your favorite classic video game? Mine personally is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Best side-scroller beat-em-up I've ever played.
I have 2. Sly Cooper series. Well, 3. Ratchet and Clank series, Sly Cooper series, and...
It's Jak and Daxter. That's usually how it goes.
No, see, I never was into Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, I lost interest. I liked it as a kid, but I tried it again. It didn't age well.
Can I finish?
Okay. Yeah. What was that 3rd game series?
and then the GTA. I consider GTA a classic.
Yeah. Okay.
Legend of Zelda. That's my answer.
Ugh!
At least we didn't get a Pokemon, although we'll see that in Twitter.
Pokemon is a fantastic game, alright?
No, I'm sure it is, but I'm just waiting for the 3rd
to play Omega Ruby. Is it?
You should play it. I was streaming Nintendo games last night. It was great. Playing some Mario Kart.
I'm thinking about doing the same thing you do, Lone, is just streaming not Fallout.
Yep, it's great.
Like, cut the viewers in half, but I don't fucking care. It's so much more fun streaming different games.
That's what I do. Actually, speaking of streaming, I've been streaming Deus Ex quite a bit, actually. Human Revolution.
I really want to play that.
Yeah, I've been doing a hardcore stream of it. Each stream goes for like 2 hours roughly, but I've done like 3 or 4 streams of it. So next time you see on Twitter,
Outlast the other day, and I legitimately
shit
my pants in this one scene. I'll probably upload it to YouTube. It was the funniest reaction.
Yesterday was, as we recorded this yesterday, was my 1 month with my girlfriend, so I was out. But like when I saw on Twitter that Lone was playing Outlast, I was like, oh, like that's the one thing I want to be home for right now. And like I was on the train, so I couldn't watch it. I was so upset.
I'll link you the reaction video. It was pretty funny. Actually, I'm gonna edit it into the podcast right now on my side.
I beat Outlast. That game's so fucking scary. So I really wanted to see someone else play through it.
I'm a bitch when it comes to scary games. I don't play them by myself.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams!
Do it! Do it!
I have a decent audience come and watch me stream. You know, I'm always talking to people, so maybe I'll jump into that. You know, so people love fucking watching it.
Everyone loves watching someone shit themselves.
Yeah. My stress levels go through the roof, and I'll sit here having like a seizure or something.
When you're 3 strokes from nutting.
Jesus.
Love it.
Anyways, time for the news roundup. each week we like to cover everything happening in the Bethesda lands, and this week we got some Fallout, we got some Dishonored, so let's just dive into it. Let's start with the Fallout stuff. Fallout 4 Wasteland Pack revealed. This is an interesting little thingy that I covered on my channel, and I believe, Lone, you pre-ordered this, correct?
Yes, I did.
So why don't we real quick just go through what this actually is for people who
The
may...
Fallout 4 Wasteland Pack is basically you get a copy of the game and a replica laser pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say anything about Fallout or Bethesda on it, but it's a laser pistol that looks like one from Fallout. You'll know why that's important in a matter of seconds.
Yes.
But it's $170 if you get a console version, I believe, and $160 if you get PC, I think.
Which is the Australian dollar. That's the Australian dollar, by the way. So it's about 130
What is
US.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
130
Yeah.
US. Gotcha.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's why this is interesting, though.
It's
Confirmed that this is not licensed by Bethesda.
Yeah, they had no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the marketing, it actually has as like a fine print that this is an unlicensed cosplay prop. So they're pretty open about it. They know it's
they're
not.
not hiding.
It's weird to me.
They are very
That's-
much blurring the legal lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like what they're doing technically isn't wrong, but like Bethesda's probably sitting there like, really?
How can we find a way to get this? You know what I mean? Like get this like.
Okay, well, so
fucking either
you can
get
come
a
at
part
it
of this.
from multiple fronts. Like Bethesda are thinking, well, if this extra prop is going to help sell more Fallout 4, then
Fair
we don't
enough.
really care, right? But again,
Right.
they're not making any profit directly from the sale of the pistol. They're making profit from the sale of the game. And while it is technically blurring lines, like we had a huge discussion about this on Twitter, it's not like they're, as Matty said, chucking a Bethesda logo on there, but they're still saying it's a Wasteland pack, as in like this is a pack which has somehow been endorsed by Bethesda. Like if they just said,
Yeah.
oh, here's Fallout 4, and if you spend another $60 or whatever, you'll get this pistol. No, they're combining it into a seemingly pre-approved pack. That's, I think, where the blur comes in.
It's really interesting. Because like me personally, like I have all my, and it's psychotic to say, I have my own reasons for like wanting to get Fallout 4 on like every console just to kind of justify spending all that money.
Yeah.
But like, I was thinking like I was so tempted to buy it for Xbox One, this like Wasteland pack, but like I don't know. It's like it's so sketchy that I feel like even though you only put like $30 down on it, like I just get this feeling like what if it's kind of like the Fallout, what was that Fallout game that Captain Sparkles made that got taken down? And Fortress Fallout, that's what it was.
Yeah, Fortress Fallout,
and everyone got all up in arms because Bethesda was taking it down. And it's like, what if Bethesda takes this down? You end up losing some money because Bethesda has like another collector's edition planned, perhaps. I doubt they do. I highly doubt they do.
Well, they're gonna have to refund. They're gonna have to refund the pre-order money. Like they can't accept pre-orders of something, and then when that product fundamentally changes, they can't say, oh well, now that $30 can now go just to the game. If the product fundamentally changes in what it is, they're gonna have to refund that money, and there's no other way around.
I was gonna say, if it was gonna be taken down, it probably already would have been.
Yeah.
I think right now it's probably too late.
Okay.
It's just interesting, like the timing of it in particular. Like you full well know that they were waiting until those Pip-Boy editions were sold out, right?
Yeah,
they didn't want to be in
so
competition with Bethesda's collector's edition, so they waited until it was sold out, and then they're like, here's a Wasteland pack. Yeah,
they did it right. They did exactly what they needed to do for it.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm still getting it. It looks cool. Like, I know you can buy really, really high quality cosplay props on eBay, for example. This is just kind of a company saying, well, we're going to bundle it with a game. And I think they're going to get a third party to make all of them, because if they were trying to hand paint all of the guns themselves, then I think they would never finish it on time. So hopefully we at least get a high standard of quality with the guns. But it looks cool, so I don't really care.
Yeah. And it does look cool,
I'm tempted, but like, oh god, like I'm already imagining myself sitting there in like my Vault Tech hoodie and like the fucking the fucking Pip-Boy on my wrist with my phone attached to it.
Gun.
Yeah, and like now I'm gonna be like trying to hold a laser gun while I'm playing. Like
girlfriend sitting there just trying to
trying to wonder why she should stay with me any longer.
Questioning her life choices.
Yeah. No, dude, she saw the gif of me humping the flash count out like while we were out on our 1 month. She's like, what? Like, she just had that face on like, what the fuck am I looking at?
You should have been like this. This is going to happen to you.
I told her, too. I said, this is a teaser, okay? This is what's going to happen.
Oh, my God.
She's like, please go easier than that. I'm like, I was like, okay.
Dear God, moving on.
Next piece of news, which is apparently, it could be considered, I don't know what the proper word is for it, but you guys will figure out for me. There's said to be 8 endings between the 2 characters, male and female, in Fallout 4. But some people are arguing that this was like a mishearing by the articles posting this, and that it was actually 8 personalities between the 2 characters, which I don't get. So do you guys just want to discuss both? Like, if there's 8 endings, that's kind of like a what-if scenario, and then we'll discuss this 8 personality thing so that we can kind of get both. Because I felt really bad because, like, I was seeing this, and, like, I saw this in, like, I think a handful of articles. And I chose one to cover, and I made a video on it. And a lot of people were like, oh, this is bullshit. You know, you can watch the panel here. And, like, I didn't know the panel was online because I remember seeing updates that Fallout 4's, like, but it was Todd Howard, like, the voice actors, I think, like, the lead producer of Fallout 4, like, all had this Fallout 4 panel. I didn't know it was going to be online. But regardless of the fact, so you guys just want to discuss the 8 endings and the 8 personalities and just kind of wager the 2 out?
So, I'm sure there will be multiple endings. I don't doubt that. I don't really want to put a number on it, though. I kind of feel uncomfortable saying, oh, there's going to be 8. If there are 8, it's probably 4 for the male and 4 for the female. Yeah. Probably the same gist, you know, like
like good, bad, neutral.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to put it, like I said, I don't want to put a number on it, but I'm sure there's multiple endings based on the type of path you want to choose.
Yes.
You know,
well, especially if they pursue a route similar to New Vegas, if you can join multiple factions, and then that way you get
that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, you have the Commonwealth Minutemen, you have the Institute, you have the Brotherhood of Steel, and then maybe that red. You remember in the concept art they had that like one ghoul in the red coat?
Yeah.
I feel like that could be the other one. You know, because I thought it split evenly. I'm happy. You know, let's say it is 4 between the 2 protagonists. That's just as much as New Vegas, and New Vegas has a hell of a lot of replayability when it comes to like how you're gonna tackle the story, what faction you're gonna side with, and what's even better is that obviously Fallout 4 had a lot more development time, so this type of storytelling can be really flushed out.
I really hope they do focus on the actual storytelling, because as much as I love Fallout 3, I'm sorry to say the story was fucking terrible. It was really, really cliche, cheesy.
In retrospect, I think in 08, 09, like all the way up until I think I started playing New Vegas, I realized then Fallout 3 story hadn't like aged well. But I think at the time I was like, damn, Fallout 3 story was mad good.
Really?
Well, the thing about about Fallout 3 story is it's and this is how I kind of look at all these games. Like I even look at Deus Ex like this. Now again, it's not necessarily true, but the game's fun doesn't necessarily come from the story. It comes from like the side quests, the characters. Yeah. So there's a lot more, you know, it's like if the game's story is shit, I could give 2 shits as long as there's a lot of stuff to do.
No, I completely agree with that. Like and I'm not saying, like, you know, I'll still confidently say that Fallout 3 is my favorite video game of all time. But even I can admit that that's a severe lacking in the game, and I'm a player that kind of prefers story-driven games because I think they immerse you a little bit more, but that's just me.
They definitely are going for broke with the story though, because they said that's why they have voice-acted protagonists. They said that in like a bunch of interviews, like they want to tell a really good story,
which
apparently I love that idea too. That's why I kind of accepted the voice protagonist and whatnot. I was like, okay, like I'm usually, when you ask me if I prefer like a really good story or just like super fun gameplay, I want fun gameplay, but like I'll take a really good story.
Usually the story is more respectable,
yeah, because that's harder to do. It's harder to be more original in that factor.
And you know, a comparison that I don't think we've drawn yet is that we keep going back to BioShock, but I love BioShock. It's funny how no one got upset when, from BioShock 1 and 2 to Infinite, how there became a voice protagonist. It actually helped the story.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I'm seeing a similar thing with
hold
Fallout
on
4.
there, though. in BioShock 1 and 2, if I remember correctly, you don't choose dialogue trees. There are no dialogue trees, are there?
Well,
I don't remember. I don't think so.
No, I think you just go around and you talk to people and you hear them talk. I think it wasn't as fleshed out.
Yeah, you just heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in BioShock,
it was just like voices through the radio usually.
Yeah, but even in Infinite, you didn't really get many choices. Like I remember there was this one point in the game with like a ball, you had to choose the number or whatever, and that was a choice. You could throw the ball at like a couple.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I thought it was an apple. Was it a ball or an apple? No, it was a ball.
It was a ball with a number on it, and you can choose to throw it at the interracial couple.
African American individual.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But.
Yeah, and like that was like one choice, and then another choice you could choose between two different jewelry, like with two different pictures on them, and I don't know what that really did, to be honest. Like
it was like a heads
really
or tail.
Yeah.
The point of that was to show. I don't want to spoil the game for those who.
All right, no, count down for the spoiler.
Really...
3, 2, 1.
2, 1. The game had multiple dimensions in it, and that's what it was expressing. So by showing the choices, like for instance, there was a time where they had like the true false, or I'm not true, heads or tails with the coin.
Yeah.
If you notice, when you choose like tails, let's say, you chose tails every single other time in that dimension. So like the Lutece twins were from other dimensions. I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole thing. I could talk 2 hours about that, but
BioShock as a whole's ending. Oh my god.
It was a little bit of a mind fuck, but
yeah. Anyways, we're back from the spoiler. No more spoilers now.
Yes, we're back.
Okay, so 8 endings. Let's say that's the case. That sounds good. Let's talk about this 8 personality stuff. Let's cover both sides of what this article could have been saying. 8 personalities. What is that? What is 8 personalities? Does that mean like very good, good, neutral, very evil, or like evil, very evil? Like I don't know what. Like obviously, Fallout's not a game where you start off the game and you kind of do like what you do in Mass Effect, where you like shape the history of your character. Like, oh, you were a soldier, you're rough and tough, kind of like that.
I'm honestly, this is something it's really hard to say on. Until I'm able to sit down and mess with it. I think the 8 personalities thing is something where it might be a number. I don't know if it's 8. You know what I mean? Are we confirmed that it's 8?
According to what people were saying when they said the article about 8 endings was incorrect, is that they said 8 personalities at the actual panel.
Do you know the exact quote?
That's what I'm getting.
Because I don't want to misquote this particular panel.
That's what I'm trying.
Yeah.
That's the thing. All I heard was that he, like, someone, I don't remember what the exact quote was, but, like, they said, and the protagonist will have around, like, 8 personalities, or something along those lines.
But wasn't it, like, 8 personalities between the 2 players or something like that? I don't remember.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking, actually. Is 8 is split between 4 and 4, between man and woman, and when you have a dialogue tree, it's the 4 buttons. So each button... or each choice that you're able to say is probably going to allude to a certain emotion or personality.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't...
Yeah.
Just spitballing here.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to cover it because I personally felt bad when, like, people felt misled on my channel, so I wanted to discuss both ends of this. And, like, when people started saying, like, well, they meant 8 personalities, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, it's a little...
It's a great area.
Until we have our hands on it, it's hard to say.
Like the article, from what everyone said, was entirely accurate up until this 8 ending part, and I'm like, why would they just choose the lie then? It wouldn't make any sense personally. But like, regardless of the fact, like, I guess for discussion purposes, why not?
Well, I don't know why it's so hard to believe. New Vegas had 4 different endings. Why?
Exactly. That's why I'm. Exactly, and if it's split between each, 4 each is perfectly fine when you look at New Vegas.
Yeah.
And even if it's like, honestly, you could have each time you join a faction, that's a different ending, 4. And then each time you join one of those factions, whether you're good, neutral, or evil, it affects it even more. So then 4 by 3 is 12 different endings, right? Like, it could be that crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Who knows?
I guess we'll see over time. I don't like talking about endings regardless. So
no.
It was like interesting to see a number on it though, and be like, is that a lot? Is that too little? And like when I did my research, it was like Fallout 3 had like 2 or 3, and then Fallout 4 Fallout New Vegas had 4. So I think 4 each would be good in Fallout 4 as well. Anyways, some Fallout Shelter news. It seems we're going to be getting Fallout Shelter on Android next month.
You're fucking about time we got on Android. Whoa. Shit. Fuck.
I've honestly stopped playing it on my iPhone because I've reached a point where I have like 40 Vault Dwellers, and I'm like running out of power. Well. I'm out of like power and food. So I'm just kind of watching them die. I'm just like sitting there with my phone, and I'll see one just fall, and it's like 300 points or coins to revive caps. There we go. Caps to revive. I'm like, Tom wasn't that helpful. So.
I'm surprised. It was a month. How long ago was Bethesda's conference? It was on the 14th. So it's been, I'd say, about 20 days, and I'm actually still playing that game. I'm impressed with myself. Honestly,
I play it when I shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I play it when I have to take a dump, or I play it when I'm waiting. I play it on the train next to my girlfriend. Like, this game, I love it. It's so fun. I can't wait for it to come to Android, because I feel like this is a game that everyone should really, get a because it's free and it's really good. That's the thing.
It's free and it's not. Yeah, it is not something you feel pressured into having to spend money in at all.
Yeah,
I do, like, just because
I didn't. I haven't spent a single dime, and you and I are basically at they're the same part.
Yeah.
Boom.
What are you trying to say, man?
Same it.
Yeah. I got Dr. Lee and what's his name? Lucas Sims in a pack. I was pretty excited.
That's cool.
I have someone, I can't remember their name. I
got like Bitter Cup.
They died, honestly. Like I said, I've had quite a few die and reborn, so I think I accidentally caused incest too.
I saw a meme with, what was it? Sarah Lyons and Elder Lyons.
Vaulted Data was posted that. He's like, oops.
That's really bad.
It was Sarah Lyons and Elder Lyons. I was like, no.
I didn't mean to do that. I was kind of like,
I do it in a fucked up way. I do it with my friends. Like, I had like Connor and Chandler have a kid.
You named your fucking...
I named... Because like, here's how it actually happened, though. I sound fucked up saying it, but like, I just renamed everyone who kind of looks alike after my friends. That's kind of part of the fun of the game for me. And then like I realized, I have a lot of space in my vault, so I just threw a man and a woman in. And then I see them doing that little dance thing they do in the room where they like wiggle their arms and they start talking. I find out it's my best friend and his sister. I'm like, oh shit.
Wait, do you have me in it?
Yes I do. I have like everyone.
I bet I'm in the fucking like cafeteria or something. You probably put me in.
I think you're in the Stim Pack lab.
Oh.
Oh, love it.
Well,
I can't wait to play
this game. Yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm gonna make one where like a separate vault where I just name everyone in my vault Lone.
Someone did that for Lone's 10K. I saw that.
That's pretty crazy. Oh, I know it. I saw that too. Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
We've also been getting quite a few new Photoshops recently from some people, which are
great,
really fun.
Aren't they?
They are fantastic.
I saw
like,
of the
after
Nowhere
every
Man.
podcast, we get like a new. No, it's all right. We get like a new Photoshop joke, and someone just goes out of the way to make it. I fucking love it.
The best one that I saw was, I think it was Nowhere Man made a Photoshop picture. And I saw it, I was like, haha, that's funny. And then Noah commented on later, he's like, oh, a Nissan. And I take a second
and there was like a Nissan
and there's a Nissan car, and I lost it. I didn't even realize that it was there. It was fucking hilarious.
I didn't really notice that at first, too. I was like, why is there a red car? And then I looked closer, and I was like, wait, that's a Nissan. And I was like, Nissan! It was fucking great.
Speaking of Nissan, you guys want to hear a little fun fact? Nissan and our next week's guest, Ellie. They're so adorable.
They're cute.
They are.
They're e-dating.
They're e-dating. Yo, Nissan pulling them e-girls.
Nissan's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And like, it's like me, Trex, Nowhere Man, and like, I got this. It's like a great thing.
He's gonna be mad at us.
Oh no, he gets confused, and I love confusing Nissan. It's the funniest thing. He's like I'll message him out of nowhere, and like I'll just start talking to him normally, and I'll start sending him random pictures. He'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'll just start saying random shit. He gets so like confused so fast.
I've had to get a new mod in my chat. Trex, I made Imagination Trex a new mod in my chat because Nissan is slacking because he's up late talking to his e-girl from Aussie, and it's just like, Nissan, come on, man, I need you to mod.
Dude, Nissan does not sleep. He's up till like 7 a.m. every fucking night.
That's why I see him in my fucking chat. Like, oh, dude, I just woke up, Nissan. It's like 8 p.m. where you are. Like,
excellent.
More Fallout Shelter news. Fallout 4's first legendary Wastelander has been added to Fallout Shelter, who is Preston Garvey. You guys might know him from the scripts from Kotaku or the Xbox conference gameplay. Yep. Now, while this really isn't like, oh my god, news, I wanted to kind of focus on this because I wonder if this means the game will continue to expand like up until and after Fallout 4's release. You guys see that actually happening?
Up until.
Probably.
Not.
You think up until and then afterwards they're kind of going to drop the game?
What do you mean?
Like, are they going to keep adding more legendary Wastelanders as we get more news? Or are they going to, like...
Shelter? To Fallout Shelter?
Yeah, and you think they're going to add, like, maybe, like, a new room or something, like, new features?
Probably up until, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think the idea of, like, when they reveal more people, like, more key characters in the game, like, putting them in Fallout Shelter, I think that's, like, a cool idea, personally. Yeah. I have not gotten Preston Garvey, because, like, they had an Independence Day sale this weekend, and, like, I spent, like, $5 on, like, a pack or something like that. Just you know, why not? Because, like, I think you got, like, double the amount of lunchboxes, too. So it was, like, a good deal. I can't lie. Like, they weren't ripping you off in the slightest.
I got double the lunchboxes.
Double the lunchboxes. And, I didn't get Preston Garvey. That's what I was getting at.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
I think Fallout Shelter is a really fun game. Don't get me wrong by any means, but it is one of the most, like, brilliant marketing techniques in the fucking ever. You know, it's to hype up Fallout 4, but it's still a fun game on its own. You know, but it's doing exactly what it's doing. Yeah.
They're like, all right, we're going to release Fallout 4 really soon, but even though it's soon, technically, it's still 5 months away. Here's something to hold you over in the meantime. It was really
exactly.
Yeah.
But Pete Hines brought up a good point in an interview. He was like, what do you think people would do if we announced Fallout Shelter first and then Fallout 4? That never even crossed my mind because I was so absorbed in, like, everything happening. I was like, oh my god.
That would be so fucking funny.
But do you know what they could have done, though? They could have released Fallout Shelter and then have, like, really, really subtle hints about Fallout 4 and then announce the game. I think that could have been clever, too.
People would have gone crazy. Yeah. Like, they would have been like, oh my god, this is me Fallout 4! Like, oh my god.
I would have freaked out, too. Like, Fallout Shelter is a great game, but I think, like, if it weren't for Fallout 4, it wouldn't have been as enhanced, you know what I mean? Like, it's a great game, but just, it's
it would have been, like, pointless.
Yeah, it would have been like, well, this is Fallout, but this
is what you've been doing for the past 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. All the YouTubers would get up in arms and be like, what the fuck? Are you kidding?
People would just start sending him, like, death threats. Yeah. Someone would jump up on stage and, like, foam at the mouth. Like,
oh, no.
Like,
Todd Howard fucking puts on his rainbow belt and starts kicking ass.
What, who?
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard. God Howard.
Todd Howard?
God powered.
Gary?
Moving on.
Steve?
Now for a little speculation, but it's very well supported by the Fallout 4 gameplay reveal, but we'll talk about it anyway. So it seems like there's going to be no more weapon or armor degradation in Fallout 4. This is supported by the fact that when we were looking at the Pip-Boy, when we were learning about that in Fallout 4 during Bethesda's E3 conference, we saw 2 10mm pistols stacked in the same part of the inventory, but there was no option to repair, and there was no item durability stat. Now, let's mention that in Skyrim, there wasn't this feature, but I think in Fallout, there should be this feature.
Yeah.
But then I can understand why there wouldn't be if that is the case, because when you, like, create all these weapons, you don't want them to break. But I think that's part of the fun of it, is constantly creating new weapons. And, like, ooh, I can pick this weapon up now and repair it later, you know, like when this weapon I'm using now starts to go down. So I don't like what I'm seeing with that personally. I like the weapon degradation system. It's a little, you know, and I feel like that's like a step towards, like, this is getting too easy mode. Not the whole game, but I'm saying, like, that's like a step in the direction of, like, that's a little too easy. Like, really, my weapons aren't going to break.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with that. Because Skyrim, you didn't have the weapon shit. And, you know, the game was still fun, and you could make your own. I've spent a shit ton of time.
Blacksmithing and whatnot.
And whatnot. You know, I had to do the Skyrim for Dummies, so I had to. But
I remember that.
You know, it didn't affect it that much. Now, it's actually kind of hard to say. Mm-hmm. I think the game is going to be, it may be harder to find certain elements to make some of the more advanced attachments, possibly. I don't know. And that may be where the challenge comes in rather than managing the damage and repairing. Yeah.
I just feel like in Skyrim, it's like different because like even though you couldn't repair weapons and whatnot, it was kind of like when you found a weapon, it was about the effect it could do. And because in the universe of Skyrim, like you get a fire, like weapons that would set people on fire when you hit them, like the that weapon that like had like the glowing orb in the middle. I forgot what it did, but it did fire damage, and when you hit them, like enemies set on fire. It was cool. But like Fallout's not like that, where you could just like be like, okay, this weapon will last forever, but it'll have these special effects. Like it's not like Fallout has magic in it, where you could kind of focus on that instead. Where like weapons not breaking would be cool. Where like Fallout, there will be weapons that have that awesome effect. They're like you have like creative weapons like the rock or the junk jet, I think it was called, where you like just shoot stupid shit at enemies. You shoot a teddy bear at someone's head.
Awesome. It does make sense though. Like in Fallout, you expect weapons to break down. They're mechanical weapons, so wear and tear. They're naturally gonna become a useless piece of junk, and then you're gonna have to repair them. That's what I actually like that mechanic in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Now, granted, maybe it could be counted as in like it's making things too easy just by picking all these weapons and repairing them. Maybe you can't repair two weapons, like combining them together. You actually have to go to a shop and get them repaired and spend a certain amount of money. That could make sense.
That'd be interesting.
But I don't like how of the whole caravan thing. Like you could run your own caravan, have your own settlement. So like then you're constantly making money. So like going to these settlers and these merchants and having them repair your weapons is actually worth it, rather than, oh fuck it, I can just pick up a weapon and repair it. Now you actually have to spend your money. Because what Fallout 4 seems to be doing is making everything matter. And like let's be honest,
more of an economy.
Like let's be honest though, like in Fallout 3 in New Vegas, like I'm not saying we never spent money, but how often did we really like go yes money and like, oh I'm so rich, and like you were happy how much money you had, because you really didn't have
pretty much like ammo and stim packs. Really only thing.
Like, and I'd say like the one exception of having a lot of money is good in Fallout was the gun runners in New Vegas. You go there and you try out all these like rare crazy weapons and stuff. That was the only time I could think of. Yeah, but they were like 30,000. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying that's the only time I can think where like money mattered in Fallout. Truly, there were times you could persuade people with how much money you had. You obviously needed money to show to get into the strip in New Vegas, but like overall, I think what this kind of based off of Lone said, that would be a good idea, because it seems like that makes money matter in a certain way.
Yeah. Well, because I'm trying to think now, because I'm assuming that skills are no more. There's not going to be a repair skill. So how do they incorporate that?
That's true.
Who knows?
What do you guys think about this skill thing? We talked about this before, but like, what do you guys think about it?
So if you watch Gopher's video on this, he talks about
I had to cheat in. I made my own, and I watched Fudge Muppets. I didn't watch Gopher's.
You should watch Gopher's one, because he makes really good points in that. If you look at the system in Fallout 3 in New Vegas, it is very, very simple. Now, simple isn't bad, but you've got your skills, perks, and special points, and that's about it, right? But it doesn't make sense for you to invest points, for example, in small guns. And even though you're player, for example, you will always use pistols, right? And then you invest in small guns. But then because you invested in small guns, you're somehow good with a minigun, even though you've only used pistols. So it doesn't make sense for you to use pistols the whole game and then pick up a minigun and be awesome with it straight away, just because you have a good, small gun skill. But so the difference is that if there were no skills at all, and it would just operate off perks. So when you get a perk, you get certain benefits with like small guns, for example. You can become very proficient with small guns, but then later in the game, if you want to pick up a minigun, you can't use it because you haven't invested into those perks relevant to the minigun. And I think that's the important bit about stripping out skills, because when you have skills, it generalizes it really, really a lot. So there's only so many skills that you can have, and I think Gopher makes a really, really good point in that sense.
He does. That makes total sense. It's also you like in my video I pointed out, you clearly see like everything being filtered into the special stats. Like now perception affects how steady your gun is, like how your gun skills work. Endurance is no longer just your health count. It's about your sprint count. It dictates a lot of stuff like that. I could see your sprint feeding off your action points. So if you have high endurance, maybe you have high action points.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree that whole perk system and ranking of perks, you can see that in the crafting segment of the Fallout 4 demonstration, and that'd make complete sense if it was all based off perks.
And I would like that. Like, it's really hard because I'm kind of against pigeonholing, as I've mentioned several times in the past. But if it was balanced in the sense that you could get specific, unique perks that would relate to, I don't know, assault rifles or any other type of weapon, so long as you can redistribute or count back those perks and go elsewhere, I think that would be really good. But I understand why that might not necessarily make sense in the Fallout world. Like, you can't just go to a shop and redistribute perks, right? If you've played the whole game with small guns and invested all of your perks in small guns, it's not realistic in the sense that, well, now I'm going to be proficient with assault rifles and not with small guns anymore. So I can understand why that wouldn't make sense, but you're still technically being pigeonholed. I don't know.
Yeah. I think part of the fun of being pigeonholed, though, is so that you want to go back and make new character builds. But I understand there are people who just want that one character that they can just be flexible with. But you kind of saw that idea in Skyrim be implemented.
Honestly, that's how I am, though. Like, I
I know you don't like to make, like, a bunch of characters. You like that
I'm not
one.
a replayer. I like doing one solid character. There are, like, 2 games. No, there's, like, 4 games that I've ever replayed fully through more than once. And it was Max Payne 3, both Borderlands, and Deus Ex. So
I play through games all the time.
I know you do.
Them. Yeah. There's just something about it. Like, I like games that give you incentive to, like, replay through them or, like, put a really good twist on them. Like, in the Batman Arkham games, I think it started with Arkham City. You'd beat the game, and then in Arkham City's, like, New Game Plus and in Arkham Knights, like, they turned off all the HUD. So, like, now the way you'd have to, like, read attacks coming in, you'd actually have to literally, like, be Batman and actually see someone winding up for a punch. And, like, you'd have to be, like, really, and, like, I was proud of myself when I beat Arkham City on New Game Plus. I haven't started Night on New Game Plus.
Telling me that, and that was so, I remember, like, talking to you while you did that and just hearing you fucking rage.
Yeah, like, it was tough because, like, you'd, like, it's like one of those things that it still happens even when the HUD's on. Like, you see the equipment, but you already commit to, like, punch someone, and, like, you see they're holding a stun stick, you're like, fuck! And you, like, hit them and lose damage.
But I think I'm more like Noah in the sense that I would rather have one awesome, massive playthrough.
Exactly.
Where I can try different things, where I can explore everywhere. Because, let's be honest, when you have first, second, third playthroughs of the game, and you know you're going to have multiple playthroughs, I think you're going to miss a lot of stuff. Like, you know, I've finished the game now. Well, no, you really haven't. Like, if you really want to finish Fallout, you're going to spend 500 hours plus, right? And people just aren't going to want to do that. They're going to want to mix it up with the players, so it's interesting.
Like, me personally, I'm not, like, a crazy replay guy where, like, the second I beat a game, I'm starting over. Like, usually I like to let that game digest. But, like, with a game like Fallout, I think to myself that, like, I beat it. I'd have that one solid save file that is, like, my best character.
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, far down the line, then I get rejuvenated. I'm like, I want to start a new playthrough and be evil this time, for example. I'm like, I want to do a new playthrough this time and side with the Institute or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I see it personally. Like, you know, and for, like, stuff like, you know, I guess us streamers, you know, all 3 of us stream, we have the kind of advantage of having a reason to replay these games.
That's true.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
You know, like, so having these, like, separate files are a fun thing, too. Where you could just, because, like, let's be honest, when we're all streaming here, we let the chat kind of dictate.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so, like, you it's fun letting them kind of pick your build and pick your choices in the game and stuff and just seeing how it all plays out.
I mean, obviously, my streams aren't as large as yours, so I'm not pulling in, you know, I think the most people I'll pull in is maybe like 20 or 30, but it's more of like a just discussion. So a lot of the times, especially when I'm streaming the Deus Ex, I'll have people just talking to other people, not even me. And I'm just watching.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Like, people just discuss shit, and, like, I'll just be on in the background, like, da, 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 da.
I don't hear white noise.
So, literally, right, I was streaming last night, and I'm streaming, I think it was Mario Kart, and I'm looking at the chat, I'm like, chat, you're very quiet, what's happening? And they're all like, oh, I'm just playing this, so I'm on Photoshop, and I'm just listening to you. I'm like, bitch, I'm streaming, fucking pay attention.
Talk to me about the game.
Like, or they're having their own fucking discussion.
Some people do that. I had a 12-hour stream, and some guys, like, I didn't say a word during the chat because I really wasn't paying attention, but I had your stream open all 12 hours. I'm like, Why?
But you know what though? If we're the person that they want to have open and just have in the background,
it's cool.
Like, you know what?
It's cool. I'm not complaining. Yeah, I was gonna say it's just different. It's like, well, like you just want to hear my voice live. That's all.
Although I can't lie, I've done that. Like I watch APL Fisher stream a lot, and I don't watch many streamers, but he's one of them. I'll just kind of open him up, like let it play, and then literally put on music, barely hear him, and do other stuff on my computer. It's the weirdest thing.
See, I'm not like that. Like a streamer I watch a lot is LoneVaultWanderer. Honestly, I'm dead serious though. Like Lone's probably the one streamer I watch the most, and like when he's live, when he's live though, like I have the picture up, like I'm watching him and typing in the chat and like interacting with what.
Well, I'll do that if I'm watching you or Alone too. You see me in your chat all the time, man.
Like, I'll do it with that Valky Ray. I'll do that with her too. Like I'll watch her. Valky Ray.
Valkyrie.
No, her name. No, but like her name is Rachel.
Yes, I know that, but how you say her name is just, well, okay, I guess you could say Valkyrie. Shut up. Continue.
And so, yeah, like I'll watch her, like I'll watch the screen, like I don't.
She's fucking cute though.
Okay.
Not gonna lie. I'm just gonna say that outright, even though she might be a guest one day. I'm just gonna.
That's why I didn't say anything, but
I'll call back to this episode if we have her on.
Episode 20. No, episode 20.
Hey, I when I was in her chat once, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take you out for coffee," and she's like, "Okay," and I was like, "Yeah."
I know we're gonna have her on the podcast. We're going to, and you're gonna be like, hey, Rachel. Remember that time you said you were gonna take me out for coffee?
There was that one time she got mad at me because I was like, "Hey, Val," and she's like, "My name is Ray," and I'm like,
"Okay, I don't give a fuck."
Like, I was like, all right.
Yeah,
so I just exited out the stream. I was like,
that's how it used to. Man, that's how it used to be. Like Marty. I was like, yeah, it's Maddie, not Marty. And
Marty plays.
Telling you Marty is fucking funny.
Yeah, because Marty, it's like I think of SpongeBob and Patrick. Marty, I'm scared. Like I hate it. It gets me mad.
Mr. Farty plays. I love it.
I love it. Absolutely.
That's the one thing I love about my channel name is I just changed Maddie to like anything that fits the situation. Like I think like I made some like girl tweet at me one time and like told me like she was calling me your dad and shit, and like I said like MrMattyPlays wets panties, and then like some guy was like, damn man, what the hell's wrong with you? And I just hashtagged like Mr. Savage Plays or something.
You're fucking memeing yourself.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I love it.
Or no, it was because Anita Sarkeesian was attacking Fallout Shelter.
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that.
Let's get
It's
into
toxic.
Let's get into that because I want to hear that. I don't know that story.
I'll tell this story because this is actually news. I should have had this written down. I'm irresponsible. So Anita Sarkeesian, leader of feminist frequency, decided to kind of attack Fallout Shelter. She attacked Fallout 4 and Doom as well, saying they were just too violent. But that was, I'm just going to say, hands down, one of the dumbest things I've seen, because she's like, here's my game collection. And what was in her fucking game collection but Fallout 3 in New Vegas? Shut the fuck up. Okay. Anyways, Fallout Shelter. So she says that, like, it's really insulting how these pregnant women in Fallout Shelter, like, they're used just to, like, spew out more vault dwellers, and that when you get attacked in the vault, that they just run around with their hands flying. And, like, my response to her was, like, okay, so what's more humanizing? Them running for their lives or arming a pregnant woman with a fucking, like, Lincoln repeater and having them shoot raiders while a baby's in their stomach and putting their lives at risk? It's a lose-lose in feminist frequency's eye. And, like...
Well, not only that, but there's, like... How else are you supposed to... I don't know, man. Like, I guess you could have the women fight, but I don't even think the men fight. I'm pretty sure they run around with their hands up, too.
No, because they don't. I can see, to a degree, I'll admit, I can see where she's coming from, like, why she would try to, like, validate that complaint.
I see that, yes.
I can understand the whole part of the putting them in a room and just using them to, like, sleep with guys and just make more dwellers and just using it as a mechanic.
No, see, that's not true, though. I mean, it's true, but... Yeah. You can use them as workers and shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a normal human being, you don't just put this girl in a room and just feed guys in and go like, okay, now she's going to get fucked by this guy and then this guy and then this guy.
And I mean, unless that's how you're playing it, Anita.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, points finger.
Fucking put you in a room and let you get drilled by a bunch of...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Goddamn, shots fired from H.A.M Radio Podcast.
Wow.
I take back everything I just said about Anita Sarkeesian. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Oh, fuck off. None of that was...
I'm gonna let you drown this. I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit.
Oh, come on. I don't give a fuck, but anyways.
Next topic.
What? We're gonna have... What, you really think we're gonna have Anita Sarkeesian as a guest at some point? Stop! Stop! Oh, this has to be a fucking shirt. Oh my god.
No.
Yes, it does. Just, I don't know why you guys are getting so like...
No, I'm not. I don't care. We should all know by now. I don't care.
Like, I don't know why, Lone, you're getting offended.
I'm not getting offended. I'm not.
Are you a fucking girl?
I'm just not touching this topic with a 10-foot pole.
If you agree with Anita Sarkeesian, you should hang yourself in your closet because you're stupid.
It's not that I agree. I'm just not. I'm not touching this topic with a 10-foot pole.
If you agree with her, that's
all right.
If you agree with her, that's fine. It's your own personal opinion. You don't.
Because Lone's a feminist.
No, Lone's a feminist for kangaroos that are being a kangarooist.
A kangarooist.
A rooist.
Oh god.
Okay, Dishonored 2 news.
Here, you know what? No, next week we
God.
have a girl on. Next week we have a girl on. Let's see if she feels the same.
She hates Anita. She hates
All right.
her. I already talked to Ellie about it.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, Ellie will full on fucking roast Anita on our podcast next week.
There's Lone. I don't want to say anything with her. I'll fucking fight you when I see you. God, you're gonna be wearing like a. I think even when I see you, I won't see your face. We all have yet.
I'm gonna be neutral. I'm just neutral on this topic. I'm not gonna say.
Fair enough, Lone. I respect that.
I just imagine when we meet Lone, I'm gonna take a picture with him. I'm gonna have like the natural picture that I'll keep to myself and never post online. But I'm gonna post the one with Lone, and I'm literally gonna have a black square over his face and say, I met Lone, but you guys can't see him. Just know that he's great looking though.
I love it.
Fuck, I dropped my pen.
I was thinking I was going to send just you to a picture of me, but...
I'll take it. I wouldn't use it. No,
I would not either. I'm not just saying that. I really... I respect it. I just love fucking joking about it, but it's not that big of a deal.
I would use it, but I just literally, like I said, Photoshop a black square just on it. Or maybe like Photoshop a black square.
Color now.
And then like just go and paint and like make a little dotted smiley face, out of like the pen and paint.
I actually have like a light, I would say a tan skin color. Like I'm not actually, my parents aren't Australian in heritage.
They're not Aborigine.
Well, not Aboriginal, but like they're descended from the UK.
Aborigine and
because Australia was built a lot of immigration. So when my dad comes from Europe and my mum from the Middle East, so I'm a completely different mix, right?
Now I actually get more of a okay.
Yeah.
We're getting close, guys, to defining what Lone actually looks like.
Honestly, like, I don't mean to harp on this long because I know I'm gonna say this openly. I personally respect your privacy and everything, and like I don't legitimately harp on how you look, but I'm just saying I kind of have an idea on how you look just based off your avatar, like
Yeah.
I like to think you're 8-bit as well.
I'm a little 8-bit wanderer.
You have just pixels like falling off of you, like wearing a blue hoodie.
This is like an alter ego, and you're like black with blonde hair, like KSI or something like that.
Now you're gonna name shout KSI.
I'm actually KSI.
Come at me, KSI. Come on, mate. What the fuck is that?
Mate, you have radio time. Oh, I'm not even gonna do it. It's just that's.
Hold on. No, please just on the podcast. You gotta do the imitation of KSI doing a let's play, and like he sees like the NPC like glitch for a second, and just like the pathfinding changes for a second and goes back. You remember when you did that? It's just me.
Okay. It's like, oh my god, mate, did you see that? Did you see that? Oh my god, mate.
That's so good. That's excellent.
He freaks out over like the simplest like little like FIFA glitch. He's like, this game is rigged.
Love it.
Any other YouTubers are important people we need to call out? Game Over Greggy, join our podcast.
Fuck you, Game Over Greggy. I'm just kidding. He's a cool guy.
I love him. I want him on.
We talk all the time, you know, as I have his phone number.
Yeah.
I have a barbecue to go to after this with him, you know. He's my date. But
Anyway.
We still have news. We suck. Dishonored 2 news.
this is almost an hour long. It is an hour long.
Oh God.
We're used to
And
that.
she
buddy.
fought it and went down my throat.
No. This is the first time I've been able to be on full in a while, so I'm happy to be
All
on.
right, yeah. Watch shop, not time to be on the podcast though. The way we're doing it this time is you play as Emily for about 20 or 30 minutes at the beginning of the game, and then there's this very dramatic moment where you can choose which one to continue with, either Emily or Corvo. Because
Emily.
in Dishonored 2, you get to pick between which assassin you play as. Then for the rest of the game, you're locked into that choice. This is kind of old news, but I'm just reiterating that because the second part of this is very
I
interesting.
didn't know any of that. I'll be 100% honest.
Oh, well now you do. But it's the
I feel like I'm the retard of it.
But it's the same series of missions, whether you choose one or the other. They just have different perspectives and commentary on it. So it's basically you're gonna have that same story.
Do they have different abilities or similar?
Worlds. Yes, they have completely different abilities and play styles.
So okay, real quick. This is a perfect example of a game that I would replay
twice.
happily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Because then it's like you have the two protagonists, like the two people you're playing as with different abilities, and you have the violent playthrough and the stealth playthrough.
Yeah, although I think we all know which character Anita would go for. Would probably be the female character.
But what's most important here is they said that another big addition was teased by Colantonio, who's I think he's like the director. I'm not particularly sure, but he said that there was a lethal playthrough, a non-lethal playthrough, and then for the first time ever, there will be a third path.
Huh.
We've all played Dishonored.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is this third path? Like, we have the kill people, the don't kill people.
Don't kill people. Okay, well, wait. In Dishonored 1, there was like a tranquilize-esque thing you could do, right?
But that's not lethal.
That's non-lethal. Okay, so So I'm thinking of the third playthrough may be one where you literally don't touch people.
Yeah, you like Ghost, kind of?
Yes, like the Deus Ex, certain areas you can do that. I'm also trying to do a non-lethal in Deus Ex, although I've kind of failed that already because I shoved spikes into someone's spine by accident. But regardless, I think probably a Ghost playthrough is maybe that third option. The only thing I can think of.
Now that'd certainly be interesting. I think that's the only one that makes sense. Like, until we discussed it, I couldn't think of anything.
I think you could still do that in Dishonored 2 though, or Dishonored 1 though. No, I thought there was an achievement that you got. Maybe I'm thinking of Deus Ex.
Yeah, I think the only achievement is just don't kill anyone.
Yeah, that's because I remember going for that and getting it in
my
360.
Yeah.
So then, there's probably a Ghost then type thing.
Oh, dude, imagine how hard that is. Think about that. Like, no one can see you.
Impossible.
Do we know if there's a new game plus?
Definitely gotta be.
Okay, because I was gonna say that may be something only doable on like a new game plus.
Or just starting a new playthrough. Like, I remember doing a speedrun playthrough on Dishonored 1. Like,
you did a speedrun of
not like a... Okay, I misworded that. I started a speedrun playthrough, but like it was getting late and like I had to jump off my 360. So I got through like the first set of missions. But like I'll give you guys like a teaser. Is that like the first mission took me I think like 5 minutes to get through. 5 or 6 minutes.
I can't remember how. It's been a while since I played Dishonored, so I don't remember how long.
That's not bad.
That basically. I don't know. If,
I think it was like I want to say like 450 something was like the actual accurate time because I remember like I was doing like a playthrough on my channel, but then like I realized why am I splitting up these videos? People could like think I'm just
stream that.
I should, but I don't have the game memorized as well as I did at launch. Like,
well, I'm saying you should still stream. I might stream.
Back off.
Back.
I think I'm gonna stream Dishonored. I'm gonna take your heat. Or heat. Your fire. Oh God, I'm forgetting.
Oh God. I just fucking
Anita.
can't wait to play as Emily.
I'm gonna keep saying it until I hear Lone's head hit his desk. I was running out of breath there, so I was like,
I was saying that I cannot wait to play as Emily. She looks fucking badass.
I bet she has a nice butt too. It's just
oh God, no.
I bet they're gonna over-sexualize her.
Yeah.
No, she's androgynous. She's not sexual.
God,
she's androgynous.
No. That's ridiculous. Anita will find a way to find your opinion wrong.
I think it's. I honestly
she actually did have an opinion on this.
Of course, she has an opinion on everything.
Okay, I'll just share it. I'm just gonna share it, right?
You're just gonna share it. This is not your opinion.
No, this is me. I'm just the messenger. So her opinion was that it's a shame that Dishonored 2 didn't make the full leap and just have one protagonist that was female.
Oh!
I'm triggered. I'm fully triggered.
So mad right now. Oh my god.
I'm triggered. Oh, Jesus, Anita. We need to have you on one day. I'm going to tweet her this link when it comes out.
That's all you need to know. Now let's move on.
You're right. Lone's right. People are tired of hearing it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think...
Matty, move on! Next topic!
Oh my god. I
don't know. Like, I was shaking my head just profusely as I said that, like just trying not to just pop the fucking cap. But anyways,
pop a fucking cap.
All I'm gonna say is that I think it's great.
I shot someone. But...
I think it's great that we play as Emily in the first 20 minutes, so at least people will actually be incentivized or might, just want to continue playing as Emily. I think that's exactly why they've done that.
I'll say one thing, just to derail here.
Oh, Jesus.
No, it's not about Anita. I think one thing that honestly pisses me off is that people complain that there's women in FIFA. I think that's such a stupid fucking...
of course it is. It's fucking about time that there's women in FIFA.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think women's soccer or football, whatever you like to call it, is very popular. Why are people like...
Wait for the memes.
I almost hit someone at the gym. They were like, I said like, oh, you guys hear out there's going to be women in FIFA? He's like, yeah, I'm not buying now. I'm like, are you
serious?
Yeah, like, I was like, really? I said to him, I was like, really? He's like, yeah, why? I'm like, it's just woman. You don't have to fucking play as them, and they should be in there. He's like, yeah, but it's fucking stupid. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like,
I challenge him to like a rollerblading competition.
Yeah, that's exactly
what I can't wait to do. What I can't wait to do is kick some people's ass with a female team on FIFA. I'm just gonna destroy everyone. It's gonna be great.
I wonder if you can have it where female play male. Oh
I
my
think you
god!
Can. I think you can.
Battle the sex station now. This is gonna male
pro clubs.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. I wonder if I can make the boob size.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Maturity fueled.
I'm just kidding.
I just want to share my 2 cents on that. Bethesda Spotlight. Segment where we like to highlight something in the haps of Bethesda, and sometimes we cop out on it because we suck.
Well, Noah cops out on it.
I cop out. Yeah, I don't know why you said we.
I've copped out before and like thought of something on the spot. I'm pretty sure there was one time I actually repeated a Bethesda Spotlight, but now I'm like very precise to make sure I don't. But my Spotlight for Bethesda this week happens to deal with Fallout, naturally, but specifically a mod. Has anyone here ever played the Fallout New Vegas mod Deimos?
No.
I highly recommend it. It's a quest mod. It takes about 2 to 3 hours, and I don't like how some, like, I've realized a lot of these quests do like the little treasure hunt, like, ooh, find X of this item, and it does it once in this mod, but it really wasn't as tedious as I imagined it would have been at first. But the story in this mod is really, really fucking cool, and like, I don't want to spoil it, but I just want to say that that's the thing I want to highlight this week, that if you're a Fallout fan, it's a very popular mod, and chances are if you're someone who plays Fallout on the PC who mods a lot, then you've probably played this mod. But if you haven't before, it's Deimos, Deimos, and it's a dot between each one. But actually, I think that's the name of the thing in the mod. If you just want to look up the mod itself, it's just those letters without the dots. So highly recommend it. Really good. One of my favorites, probably. So yeah.
My spotlight has just been, obviously it's a video game spotlight, has just been kind of playing Deus Ex again. I forgot how much I enjoyed the game, and it's really fun streaming it. It's one of those things where it's like I've streamed it enough now that I just want to keep, you know what I mean? Like you've gotten to that point where it's just, you just want to keep streaming it. And I kind of want to do Dishonored next. I'm kind of like thinking about that.
Yeah.
You're really into it, and you're going to play it for like an hour and then just like cop out.
No. See, that's what I was afraid I was going to do with Deus Ex, although I've done like 3 or 4 solid streams with Deus Ex, like long, good streams. So, Your 12-hour stream was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Lone go.
My Bethesda Spotlight is about Rage, because I still can't get across how good of a game I think Rage is anyways. I think it was Kotaku had an article saying Rage was actually a really fucking good game. It was. I don't understand why it's so underestimated. I really don't. Have you played it, Noah?
I downloaded it, played it for about 20 minutes, hit some graphics stutter, got upset, and then didn't play it.
Oh, God.
That was about 3 years ago, so I should re-download it and try it again.
You should re-download it. It's a really cool game.
I know it's an awesome game. I've heard that from both you and Matt. And Connor, but Connor doesn't know what it is.
Well, even like, Metacritic is never really good. I don't like looking at review scores, to be honest, but even on Metacritic, based on 77 critics, it has a Metascore of 81. That's decent, right? But
that's a good game. An 8 or above is like a really good game. Like, you're going to have your money spent well.
Seven. I say 7.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'd say 7's like you're gonna notice the flaws, but you're still gonna have fun.
Yeah.
I'd say like 8 is like a definite like your $60 is justified.
Oh, what did Destiny get? Because that should be a 5.
That's 6. Got a -4.
So I saw 6s, 5s, and I think Game Informer gave it a 7.
Which it fucking deserved, though. It deserved
a 7.
6. No, I'm saying it deserved 5 and 6s and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck it. Let's just talk about Destiny for a second. What a fucking disappointment that game was. Like, I understand who it's catering to. I understand that a lot of people play it now. Don't get me wrong, I understand that. But for people that were, I guess, the majority or the vocal minority on the internet saying, we don't like this game, there are legitimate reasons why we don't like this game. It's boring. It is fucking boring as shit.
And that's the thing. It was marketed so wrong. I was thinking it was going to be this crazy, like, story-driven, and especially coming from Bungie.
Yeah.
They make good stories and good multiplayer. I thought it was literally going to be Halo in a new universe.
And it's so interesting because, like, you have this, like, rundown Earth thing, and it's like, what the hell? Like, what happened?
It's old Russia, I think.
And then you just get thrown in, and it's like, Peter Dinklage is talking in a fucking golf ball, and it's like...
I thought, when I first saw it, that it was going... At least it would have some elements of being story-driven, but it did not even touch on that. Like, the story was as an afterthought. It didn't mean shit. And I'm thinking...
I'm sorry, but you can't... Not to interrupt you, Lone, but I just want to say that you can't simply just... If you're trying to justify this game's fun, like... Please tell me what's fun about collect X of this and then get this shitty reward, and like, what's fun about I think it's called like the RGB loot system or something? RNG, that's what it is. Yeah. Where it's just a random loot. It's not like
it's similar to Borderlands. It's the same.
Like the amount of rage videos I've seen of people dropping 6 scores in Destiny and then seeing someone at the bottom of the leaderboard get rare items, like it's sickening. There's so much of it.
Well, yeah, but at the same token, that makes you think like, okay, well, even if I did bad this game, I might still get...
but you should be rewarded if you do good in any game, I think.
Oh, yeah, and I agree.
But, like, for example, if we compare Borderlands and what's it called again? Fucking Destiny. Right? Like, at least Borderlands, even though the story wasn't that great, right? Let's be honest.
But it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that... Wait, no, it wasn't that bad. Right? It wasn't, like...
was great.
But at least it had something there, right? It
had something. It was charming. And it was enjoyable. Whereas Destiny, it was like you went into Borderlands knowing more or less exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
And you went into Destiny expecting this crazy, awesome, like, lore-hungry kind of experience, and what you got was just this, like...
empty.
Really shallow... what it was on the top was exactly what it was.
And what Destiny didn't they actually have, I don't know why they did this, but some elements of the story on the website that you could read? Didn't they have that?
You had to go online and it
was in the fucking... stupid! That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life!
The Grimoire, you had to download a mobile app on your phone, and that's the only way you could access the lore in the game. You'd unlock it, link it to your account, and then you have to download the app and read it. I never did because I'm like, that's too much hassle. I instantly
any normal human would. I mean, if you're really that interested and you did, fine. But like, come on.
Like, present it to us in the game because that's the game. I don't know. We're trailing off, but Rage is a great game. Is all I'm saying.
Bottom line, Rage is a great game. Jesus.
No, but the sad thing about Destiny, I just want to say, is my closing thoughts is that. The art design of that game, the worlds, like I will not lie, I was always intrigued to explore in those worlds. Oh yeah, there was just nothing fucking there.
The game itself, in terms of like the art style, is beautiful. It's absolutely fantastically done. The armor, the way your character looks, I love that. I think it's fantastic. But when you like. You play it for an hour and you've pretty much seen everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the FPS is solid. It's fucking solid. I will give them that. But gameplay...
It's a Bungie game. Like, it's going to be solid.
You know it's going to be solid, but just that alone is not going to save your game or make it good, right? It was still very bland, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rage is a good game.
It's a good game.
Yeah. Jesus.
Moving on to segment 4, what we're playing and our favorite gaming news bit of the week. If anyone's not prepared, I recommend you take the time I am speaking to find what to talk about.
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're ready. All right.
I've been enjoying playing Deus Ex. That's what I've been playing. I don't know if I've mentioned I've played Deus Ex at all in the podcast. But I'm enjoying playing Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a fun game to play. I stream it, Deus Ex. News bit. I'm just okay. It's not really news, but it's something that really irks me when news gaming companies do it. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know this. And it's comparison pics. It's when they take graphical comparison pics and like this is what it looks like on PC versus Game Boy, and it's like the hue and the colors is slightly like 2 points different. And it's the same exact picture. It's like, okay, for the love of God.
Yep.
There's no difference here.
That makes a lot of sense when you're doing it like from a previous game to the next game. You can see the improvements, right? But between different platforms, it's really minimal. And you're watching a compressed video in most cases anyway, so you can't really see the differences, right? So, who knows?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's totally true. That, when you're going from game to game, like I did a video and people really liked it from Fallout 3 to Fallout 4 to see the difference between Bethesda Game Studios to Fallout games and see how different everything looks. Yeah, I was going to say, I think Lone did as well.
Yep.
And it was interesting because, you see some of the differences, but you see how they're still following that same style and how they look. Like not a lot has changed, but you can see like a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
If I went with Fallout 3 on PC, no mods, by the way, no mods, no ENB, none of that shit. Put Fallout 3 on PC next to Fallout 3 on PS3 and Fallout 3 on 360. It's like, yeah, there'll be a little difference in color here and there, and like you might see like obviously a little bit better on PC, but like not other than that, it's like there's no point in these fucking stupid comparisons.
Actually, guys, like this was something that happened. So I think it was GameSpot had a comparison because do you know how they had Fallout 4 at the main E3 conference? I believe that was on PC. I might be wrong, but I believe that was PC.
I think it was on PC, but then again, you saw like the controls of
Xbox One. No. Odds are it was PC for the sheer fact of demo purposes.
Yeah,
it was actually probably pre-recorded.
But there was an Xbox One controller plugged in. But
then at the Xbox at the Microsoft conference, they said, this was on Xbox One, right? So GameSpot did a comparison of the E3 one on PC and the Xbox One footage. And I'm thinking, there's no fucking difference. It's a 720p stream that's blurry. What are we looking at now?
And that's the thing. They just do it for the favorites and the retweets and for the 12-year-old retards out there to go, oh my God, this validates my excuse of saying Xbox One is better. Mom!
They literally fuel the console wars, and then they'll post like an article, opinion, console wars are silly, stop them now. I'm like, okay, stop posting those articles.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy when I tweet back to them and say stop with this shit, and that tweet gets like 80 favorites, and like it makes me. I'm like, yes, I'm doing my job. God, I want them to reply to me and be like, shut up, Noah.
Console wars have always been around. Like I don't know what the console wars were back in the bit eras. It was like
that was just that. It was just that. It was one of the Sega
Sega Genesis, I believe, and Nintendo.
Yeah, they would say
PS1, I think.
They would their marketing. No, PS1 was not bits.
I was just saying 64 PS1. I know that.
That was definitely
the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
My point is, though, the marketing campaign was do the math, and they were referring to the bit difference of Nintendo versus the Sega. Yeah. So console wars have always been around.
Oh, yeah. They'll never go away. But
exactly. But it's just... the
fact that article pieces are being made solely based off that is just like, you don't have to feel the fire. You can just...
levels, too.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not... Some people called me a PC Master Race person. I'm not. I just prefer PC, but that doesn't mean I'm a PC Master Race. I don't have a new Xbox One or PS4. I don't really want to spend the money on it. But that doesn't mean if you don't want to spend $1,500 or $1,300 or not even that much, like $800 on a PC, then obviously get an Xbox One or a PS4. It's like...
and if we're straying into this discussion a bit, Me coming from the 360, I've been console gaming my whole life. I had never touched a PC, like a proper gaming PC. And then I bought a gaming PC and I saw the benefits. But I can completely understand why you would not even want to go close to a PC. It's a fucking hassle. It really is. Every time you install a new game, all right, I now got to see the frames. I'm going to change the graphic settings. I'm going to optimize this shit. It's fucking annoying. And if there's a problem, you got to fix that shit. It's so much easier on a console. That's the key.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna disagree there because I'd say out of the like 75 games I have on Steam, I'd say I've had major issues with probably 5 of them. You know,
it's not necessarily like, first of all, when you first build a gaming PC, right? Say if you get a blue screen. You have to figure out what that is, and then if you finally get the PC running, then you can install games, and some games might not work on PC, ports might be shit, you have to download, like for example, Dark Souls, fucking won't run on PC for the life of you, it's terribly optimized.
That's why you need to do your research, though. There are certain games that unfortunately just are not optimized. Now, I agree with you, it's easier to just throw it in a console. However, these days especially, there's enough sources out there to find a place where, you know, my PC was built for me. Have I been inside my PC and changed stuff around? Yes. But did I have to do that? No. But, you know, I know my PC. My point is, though, it's not as daunting as it once was.
I agree with, right? But it's certainly for people that, for example, have full-time jobs. I could walk down to the store right now, buy a PS4, plug it into the power, and it would work straight away. You know what I mean?
That is absolutely true. Yeah. A gaming PC is definitely much more of a commitment than a console is. I agree 100%. Yeah. There is still more you can do with a PC, though.
Oh, definitely.
However, with Fallout 4 having the console mods and stuff, that is a big step. Towards equality with the two. That is a big step. We'll still have more frames, but it's a big step. You know, someone's gonna hate me for that.
Well, okay, no, I think it's interesting when every time, you know, Microsoft or Sony, they're like, oh, it's 1080p. Like, fine, it's 1080p, but what are the textures at?
Still 30 FPS.
Well, it's 30 FPS and like low textures, maybe.
I will say this, with the Xbox, both Xbone and PS4, I've been seeing a lot more higher end games running at 60 FPS, and I'm happy to see that. You know, that's cool. That makes me like believe that there definitely is some better tech in this thing. See, the thing is though, and I don't. This is gonna spark hate, but I don't mean it to. The Xbone is about 300, give or take, but it has the graphics capability and stuff that you'd get from probably a $600 PC. But again, the PC, $600 to $800 PC. Yeah. But again, the PC will do more for you. And what I mean by that is not only games. You can do, you know, schoolwork, all that other shit.
Yeah, good point.
You know.
So we're still on the segment, right, of what we're playing?
Yes.
Matty,
and I think
you've been silent.
I'm still playing Batman. I'm kind of looking for like a game to play. Like I beat Batman. I'm not spoiling anything, by the way. I beat Batman though. I think I'm gonna change over to Diablo 3 soon. That's a game I have not played yet. That's a game I missed out on. So I picked it up.
On that. Are you gonna do it on PC?
No, I got it for my birthday. I got the Reaper of Sins, and my mom got it for my PS4.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'll play that with you on on PC because I've not played that either, and I've kind of been interested.
But I could always look into it.
Fuck you.
Maybe you could buy a PS4. Instead of me buying the whole game.
Matt buying a $60 game or me buying a $400 console or $300 console.
Anyways, I'm not trying to say this in the cool way. I really haven't this week played too much video games. I don't know. It's like when new releases come out, like Batman, like I go hard, and then like I take that kind of break and I do other things. But this week I haven't gamed all that much.
Speaking of Batman, real quick, this is a news bit. It was taken off Steam because of how badly the optimization was done.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Here's the thing, though. The company that optimized it, it wasn't necessarily WB. WB gives it to a third-party company who optimizes it. The company that optimized it optimized all the other Batman games, which run fine on PC.
But didn't they have like a really short amount of time to optimize it or to port it over? Yeah.
Yes, they did. They were rushed, and I give them credit for taking it off Steam, because I feel like most companies would have just left it up.
No. Okay, so this is the thing though, right? You know why they took it off Steam? Because everybody was issuing refunds. That's why they took it off Steam. So they
that
weren't
makes
making
sense
money.
too. There you go.
Yeah, so if there was no refunds on Steam, I 100%
Probably.
guarantee it'd still be there.
We'll see. I've never had a good Batman experience on PC. I got an Arkham City review code one time, and I got it on PC, and I went to hook it up, and it was like running through Windows Live fucking games or whatever, Windows for Games or whatever the fuck it was. I was like trying to sign in, and it was like fucking stupid. I was like, fuck this.
That's when Games for Windows Live, and no matter what game you're doing, Games for Windows Live is awful. It's the devil.
So that was awful. Then Arkham Origins I didn't get on PC, but like I saw there was a whole PC debasco about that. I was like,
I don't know. Origins I have on PC. It runs fine now. Now when it came out, it may have had issues.
When it came out, there was a lot of glitches.
I'm sure,
a lot of glitches, and like people are making fun of it and stuff. So that's why like when I was deciding between PS4 or PC for Arkham Knight, I was like, I could get on PC, stream it, or I can get the game that is going to conclude one of my favorite video game series ever, and play it the right way. And I'm like, I'm going to get it on PS4. And I'm glad I did, because I'm not fucking surprised on how badly they fucked up the PC version.
Yep.
They're fucking stupid, though. They do outsource their shit. They outsource their collector's edition. You're Warner Brothers. You make collectibles. Fucking make your collector's edition in-house.
That's why they outsource it, though, because they are Warner Brothers. They can afford to outsource it,
That's the stupid part. They should just make, if they want quality shit, they should just make it in-house.
They
fuck their bottom line up now.
They just want to get the money, though, unfortunately. You know.
And I totally understand that, your business, but honestly, after all those choices, they definitely, their bottom line's lowered, without a doubt. You took a game off a prominent platform for a certain time, so people are waiting to play it for those who only own PC. And then you also got rid of the collector's edition, which is like double the price of the actual game. So now you're only selling these, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, you're only selling these solo copies of the games.
Yeah.
You know?
When it comes back out on PC, I wouldn't be surprised if it's slightly discounted, maybe $50 rather than $60. I don't know. I do know some people have no issues with it on PC. There are like one
really high-end PCs, I think.
Yeah, they're like, there's zero issue, and it's like,
well, it's also, it's like 30 FPS on PC. Like, that's a joke.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Yeah, it is. They capped it.
That was capped.
Is it capped?
Yeah, it's capped.
I thought I saw there was a...
you have to change the INI files.
You had to go in the INI. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was going to say, I watched a stream the other day on PC where it was 60 FPS. That's what confused me. Okay.
Yeah. What I don't like is...
Angry Joe's video on it was so funny. He crashed for the 4th time in a row, and it was mid-stream, and he uploaded the stream archive, and you know, like, on streams, like, you, like, change the scenes and stuff, and, like, for me, like, when you change from, like, a game scene to, like, my webcam-only scene, like, there's, like, that 5 seconds of black. So you literally see, like, the game freeze. All you hear is Joe scream, "No!" And then you see, like, it just go black. And then 5 seconds later, his whole face is right in front of the camera. He's just got that pissed off fucking look on his face. I was laughing so...
Yeah.
He screamed. He was actually, like... He's one guy, I'll give credit, his anger is not fucking artificial. It's entirely real. No, he gets, like, when it comes to shit like that, I think he actually gets legitimately pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have my issues with Joe. Certain times he blames the wrong people, and that's what annoys me.
I agree, but he's
I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, he is definitely funny. There's no doubt about that.
Anyways, I'll quickly just mention this and move on. So I was playing Outlast, scared me shitless. And interesting.
You sound
story.
like a pirate. You're like, yarg.
And then an interesting story coming out from Australia. So there are a lot of articles saying, Australia's banned 220 games in the past 4 months, right? And I think people don't understand is that the reason why that's the case is because we've implemented a new online system where publishers and developers can actually go online and have their games rated by filling out questionnaires. And that's why a lot of games are being banned, because a lot more games are now being rated. You know, because before it was just one board that would look at games all day, every day, and they would review or rate about 400 games a year. Now it's thousands of games a year, and they're actually going back and backdating games that were never reviewed. So a lot of games were being banned for these reasons. But people are like, Australia, they're so harsh. But I just want to list some of the games that have been banned.
Well, I want to know what some of them were.
Okay. Measure bra size prank, Islam Today, douchebag beach club, Past the Grass, Time for Cocaine, Wrecking Miley, Police Bus for Criminals, 2015 Athletic Fruits Girls. Like, these are the games that are being banned, right? So it's okay. They're just mobile, shitty games like this. I think it's funny.
Oh my god. Islam Today was probably my
I was
favorite.
about to say, what the fuck did I just hear?
Yeah.
Islam Today.
Yeah,
Sign me up. No, I'm just kidding.
A lot of shitty games that, yeah, I thought it was just funny. Anyway.
Be banned, but
Yeah. Oh, also, AK-47 Simulator, Torture the Murderer 2. Okay.
Torture
remember
the
that?
murder.
You remember that though when the touch Apple touch screens came out with the iPad, or not the iPad specifically, but the iPhone and the iTouch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When those came out, you remember the gun simulators being in like middle school and downloading those?
Yeah,
and thinking they were
yeah,
the
yeah.
cool
I
things
remember using
before.
them.
Oh, you're like pointing your phone at someone and make the shooting sounds.
Bang, bang, bang! I killed you. Like it's and then you like reload it and shit. That was cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember.
cool.
Last time I used an app like that, it was for Connor, because I thought he was whipped by his girlfriend, so I just like shake my phone like a whip and it go.
Yes, that's good.
That's fucking amazing.
That was the last time I used it for something like that. That was like a year ago.
Love it.
Oh my god! I'm gonna use that for you.
Oh,
Anyway.
I'm not. Although you're not the one who ditched a podcast. I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
dick!
I'm just kidding. There was actually more than one
You're
reason.
such a liar.
No,
I
there was
hope you
one.
got laid. I hope you got laid, dude.
No, I didn't.
Fuck you, man.
So
So I never finished my part. I still have my favorite gaming news bit, guys.
Okay.
Guys.
Go on.
fucking shit. What?
I have to fart. Hold on.
Did he
Oh, you
just
should've-
mute to
Okay.
fart?
Mike.
I want to be polite. So
Oh, wait, polite.
I've learned more and more that just Nintendo knows how to fuck everything up all the time.
Right.
They fuck the easiest things up. So like, I know you guys don't pay hardcore attention to Nintendo, and neither do I. But like, I know one thing is that like everyone wants a new Metroid game on Wii U. Like,
Yeah.
everyone wants one. And somehow Nintendo managed to fuck that up. Like everyone just wants a Metroid Prime sequel, like a new entry in that series where it's like really fucking just next gen for Nintendo fans. You know what I mean by that. And they just wanted that. So what does Nintendo announce at E3? They announced Metroid Prime Federation Force. So I saw the title of this game. I was like, oh, let me check this out. It's a 3v3 arena game on the 3DS. And it looks so bad. And like everyone is ripping into this game. And like to the point where the president of Nintendo responded was like, yeah, we know nobody likes this game. It's been hard.
I don't get it. I don't get who they're. It's like Sony's press conference. They're like crazy, epic. Microsoft's. Oh my god, this is crazy. And then Nintendo's there, like the special kid on the short bus.
Got his tongue on the window, looking out at you like.
Yeah, like, hey guys, you got a new. It's like, oh Jesus.
Oh god, it's Nintendo.
Yeah, it's like, hey Nintendo.
Nah,
He's that kid. He's that smelly kid you hug because you feel bad for him.
take like 10 showers afterwards. But like, I just think to myself, like,
That was
I
mad.
understand that they're making like a new Nintendo console that's supposed to be like up to date with like all the next gen systems and be even more powerful. I get that idea because now they'll technically be a step ahead if they do it right. If they do it powerful enough to last long enough, everything. So I understand why they don't want to put stuff into these systems that don't have a lot of people don't have a lot of them, and they just kind of want to hold back until they make this new big step and kind of start rebuilding. But at the same point, it's like, you still need to make money, and people still really want this. And I understand that, part of the fun of being a game developer is choosing to make what you want. But as like an in-house first-party developer at Nintendo, like you have Mario, fucking like some random Luigi game, Yoshi games, so now there's Toad games. Make a fucking Metroid game. One that...
But not only that, but it's like, stop making games for the consoles that barely anyone has your own I mean, come on. Like, it's not 1987 anymore. Publish a Nintendo game on an Xbox or a PS4 or something. Or a PC. Like,
They're not going to do that. I mean, that's the
They're going
only...
on mobile.
Look,
They're going mobile.
I'm not... Okay, if they go mobile, that's actually that's a good idea as well. But they're going to fuck it up. It's gonna be like, here's Nintendo's like screenshot editor on iPhone. Or no, they'll make their own OS. Fuck.
Yeah, they probably would. I can see that happening. They'll just fuck that up too. That's the thing. Like, I just wanted to kind of focus on, like, that was just a prime example of how they fuck it up. Like, they didn't just make, like, a Metroid game on the 3DS. Like, that could have been acceptable. Like, it's not on the Wii U, but it's a new Metroid game. No. They go the extra mile, make a new Metroid game on a console people don't want to play Metroid on, and then make it a 3v3 arena shooter that looks like you're shooting tennis balls out of your fucking blaster. And I'm like, you know what's funny? The graphics look like the old school Doom. Like, the 3DS, I'll admit, like, especially a new 3DS, is like a capable handheld system. It's strong, but it's like, like, this just looks awful. I'm like, this just appeals to no one.
Yeah.
Fucking Nintendo, I fucking hate them. Only good thing to come out of them, Pokemon Smash Bros, Bayonetta 2. It's the only thing I can think of. And for Legend of Zelda.
For every one okay game they have, it's like 74 horrible, like, amalgamation of things.
They really need to get third-party public. Like, the ship has sailed, but they really need to try and claw back and actually get, you know, your Activisions, your EAs, your Ubisofts to start making games for Nintendo consoles again. Because they, as good as their first-party IPs are, they can't survive off those. I mean, Noah's right. This isn't the 90s.
It's just so funny. Like, for example, Watch Dogs, I think, like, that came out for Wii U, like, earlier this year. Like,
did it really?
Yeah,
did it actually?
Who the fuck is gonna buy that? Like, it finally came out for Wii U this year. It came out in May of last year for every other system. Like, Nintendo, no one's fucking sitting on their hands fucking waiting for this game to come to Wii U. Like, just put the extra fucking effort in. And what's funny is that apparently they don't reach out. That's why. It's like, developers aren't like, well, we don't want to work with Nintendo. They're like, Nintendo doesn't say anything to us, so we just kind of focus on everything else and you know, put our assets into these games that aren't Nintendo.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
That makes sense to me. Let's move on.
Yeah. Segment 5, fan questions. Since you both weren't here last week, I had an additional fan question, so it's instead of 5, 6. Let's start off with the first question. This was
real quick. Matt is the only one who knows these questions, so Lone and I do not know. Continue.
Yeah. And this one starts off strong. This is a question that was asked last week, and I tagged you guys in it saying that we're going to use this question.
Oh, I saw it. Shit.
Yep. This one comes from @NateG880. He says, which co-host has slept with more women?
Oh, God. Well, okay.
Submit your counts, boys.
More women as in, like, the specific number, or as in times with that person?
Oh, if it was times, man.
See, all right, I'm not going to say the number. I don't think any of us should, but let's put it in the Skype chat, and we'll say whose is the most.
Okay.
Oh. Twitter chat.
That's a good peaceful.
Okay.
Twitter chat? Yeah.
No. Skype.
Skype's not working though. Remember?
Skype's working fine for me.
Skype's working for me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, try it.
If I can't fucking apparently I can't.
What?
Yeah.
All right, then just submit it through Twitter.
No, what the fuck?
All right, let's just resubmit it through Twitter.
That's like sex with one girl and a hand job.
Shut up! Wow, dude. Fuck you. I'm done, dude.
Submit it.
I did. Hold on. What's your count, Lone? Hold on.
I'm so up.
I won't say it out loud either.
No, it's not sending.
You said mine, you asshole.
I did not. All right, I'll put mine in the fucking thing here too.
Twitter. I put it in Twitter.
Oh god.
Lone, I'm just getting the feeling right now. What? That's a joke.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
What?
All right, well, Lone's the winner. Lone is also.
What?
Well, hold on. Lone is also older than us.
I'm older, guys.
By that number, he's probably Fabio, but.
Oh my.
Fuck. How long have you been a J. Crew model, Lone?
Oh my god.
Let's put it this way. Lone's number. We're not gonna say what it is, but Lone's number quadruples ours. like more than that. But anyways, okay. So Lone is the winner to that. Okay, next question.
Oh, what a reaction.
Matt is like on the floor.
Yeah, I can't even hear Matt anymore. Matt, you still there?
Yes. It's not like I'm like shocked that you did that, but like that's a high number. Oh my god.
Guys, so as Noah said, when I'm 23, So those are like
I'm
the
20.
prime years.
I'm
Yeah,
20
and
as
you
well,
haven't
so
you
it's
have not
still a little-
experienced the prime years yet. You're not even 21 yet.
That's true.
Man,
All right, GG Lone.
Got a
GG.
lot of work to do. Holy fuck. Congrats. You win.
Next question.
Love it.
Ellie the Geek, our guest next week, asked an interesting question. And I don't think I can even take this podcast seriously now. But like, she's like, this is a serious question. This would initiate real talk, but I can't even.
Okay. I literally can't even.
I can't. Starbucks coffee. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a really good question.
I don't know, honestly.
Any guesstimates here?
If I had to... Shit. That's a really hard...
Yeah, I know life's unpredictable. Things happen. I'm just saying, like, does anyone have any good guesses?
I do. I see myself starting my own online business. That's
Good
my
shit.
guess.
That's cool.
Oh.
Me,
Matt?
I see myself deciding to go to college for a lot longer, but maintaining YouTube as my full-time job. That's what I see. And like, kind of.
Did you know that PewDiePie made $7.5 million last year?
Huh. Okay.
It hurts my heart.
Well, okay.
But you know what, though? I will give him that. He's
modest. He's a good guy.
He's a good content
He's a
creator.
really good guy, yeah.
I don't necessarily watch his videos. I'm not like a huge fan of them, but at the same token, he doesn't copy everyone else on YouTube. Like, I don't see his prop hunt as his main upload source.
Yeah.
Some other YouTubers.
Yeah.
But, you know.
No, I agree. He's a good, I don't want to say leader because I don't follow in his footsteps, but he's a good person to be at top.
Original for the most part in his content, you know, and that's what I respect about him. So, you know.
Good question.
For me, these past 2 years have been insane. So I can't even imagine 5 years. So
Yeah.
in a box somewhere in like Chicago, probably.
no, you idiot. Possibly. Hey, Matt, you and I might be living together in Pittsburgh.
That's true. That's true. Probably roomed with a couple of friends, some sluts, trying to catch up to Lone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fucking Lone will be there. Quadrupled his number. Like, hello.
Unreal.
Lone Hefner rather than Hugh Hefner. Get it? The guy at Playboy. Next question.
This question's good. At Mr. Shivargo _SC2 asks, most embarrassing thing that has happened to you on a date?
Oh.
I have a good recent story. While you guys cook one up, I have one that, like, I wouldn't say this is the most embarrassing thing because I'm usually relatively good on dates, but this is like somewhat embarrassing. It's really not that bad, but anyways, sorry for punching my desk. So just like I said, a couple of days ago was my 1 month, and like I think me and my girlfriend were hanging out the day before that, and so I had a lot of pasta before I left for her house, and like I was in a big rush because I was already late. I like wolfed down this pasta, and like I'm kind of feeling a little sick, and so I like get in my car and like I start to settle because usually after I eat, like humans do, I like to digest and like take my time and whatnot. But I was just
weirdo.
I was just like all up and about and stuff, and like I don't like that. My body has this routine. So, anyways, I get in the car, I drive over to her house because she wanted to learn how to play hockey, and like I was gonna teach her, and
That's so fucking cute, man.
Yeah, so adorable.
Makes me want to
Sports
vomit.
couples. Oh my
Honestly.
god, just makes you sick.
And I have a girlfriend too, but I just barely see her. I'm not gonna get into that, but you.
So I get to her house and like I'm just like, fuck, I feel disgusting right now. So I gotta get out and say hi to her mom. I start walking to her backyard and like I start getting like dizzy spells. I'm like, oh fuck me, not now. Like I'm like, oh Jesus. So like I'm like kind of seeing colors and stuff. I'm spacing out when her mom's talking to me. I'm like, this is just bad.
Oh no.
And I'm like leaning against the wall and like I just have to piss so badly now.
No.
And like no, it's really not bad. But like, so I'm just like going. I'm going through the cycle here. I'm just like leaning against the wall, like practically dying while her like mom and my girlfriend are just talking to me and like they're talking to each other. And like we walk outside, like we're finally about to go, and I just like feel so sick. I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this. So like we get to my car and she's like just getting in. I'm like, like, I'm sorry, but can I just use your bathroom real quick? She's like, yeah, it's fine. Why didn't you ask
Isn't
earlier?
that really awkward though? Like,
Yeah.
It
No,
really
she was
is no problem.
totally cool with it. I was the awkward one here.
But no, what I'm saying is it's really not an issue, but it's the way you went from like joking around to like yeah, no, go ahead and use my bathroom. And it's like, I feel really weird now.
She's like, no, it's totally fine. So like we walk back inside. She goes to the kitchen. I go straight to the bathroom, dude. And like when I walk inside, like I had a hat on. I take out my hat. I'm sweating now. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I look in the mirror. I'm like trembling kind of. I'm sweating. I'm like, I just had pasta. That's all, man. What the fuck is happening? I go over to the toilet to start peeing, and I'm like, I gotta take a shit now. What the fuck? And so like, naturally, now I just look like a big liar. I go to pee, so I'll be right back, and I'm in the bathroom for like 10 minutes.
25 minutes
Yeah.
later, and you're all sweaty.
Yeah, like, and I come out with like,
fapped.
yeah, like I come out like with sweat on my brow after this, like, and also I washed my face too, so I look even worse. And like,
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
that's so bad now.
yeah, my face is red as shit. Like I just destroyed her toilet. Like I just walked outside and I'm like, oh, fuck. And like, so like, I literally take like 3 deep breaths before walking into the kitchen because I'm like, I'm either gonna like, they're gonna do that awkward like, we know what happened but we're not gonna say anything, or they'll just kind of ask me if I'm okay, like something like that. So
If they asked you if you're okay, that's even worse.
and so like I take a couple of deep breaths, and fortunately the best possible scenario happened because I walk in and Amanda's like, you ready to go? I'm like, yeah. Well, I'm like, I didn't expect that. And her mom's like, all right. Like her mom didn't even know I was in the bathroom. And so like we walk out to the car and I'm like, I'm so sorry. She's like, why are you sorry? I'm like, you don't even want to know. Like I told her everything, and like she was like, oh my god, do you not want to hang out right now? But that was like one of the more embarrassing things I can think of in recent memory, because I was just like she's carrying on with her day in the kitchen. I'm just like dying in her bathroom, like, literally going through every possible sickness imaginable. Like I almost vomit in her house. Like
That's amazing. That is like the best thing I've ever heard. I wish you shit yourself. I'm sorry. But that would have made it so much better.
That's the thing. I was gonna hold it in and just go when we got to the rink, because there's a really nice bathroom where we play hockey, so it would have been fine. But like, I probably honestly would have fucking crapped myself at her house.
Jesus, dude.
Like in the car seat. Like, oh. God.
So, Lone, do you have one?
No, not yet. So no, I'll go.
Okay, I'm trying to see. I haven't been on that many dates in my life, but I'm trying to think on the one.
Well, that's the thing. It really wasn't, not to interrupt you, but for me, it wasn't like a date. It was just like we were gonna hang out. But like,
think of it like an embarrassing thing with a significant other.
yeah, that's kind of how I treated it.
For me, it was actually, mine was pretty recent too. I'm gonna first I have to disclose this. I suffer from mild seizures at times, and they're very occasional. They're very occasional and they're very light. They happen, and I just kind of doze out for a couple seconds. Like I don't fall asleep. I'm just like, I just space out. Like it's like I don't know what's going on for a couple seconds, and then I come back. And they actually started after high school. But what's it called? I was my girlfriend and I were at the mall, and we were just kind of hanging out. And she knows about this, and I call it like phasing out when they happen. I'm just like, oh, I just phased out for a second. And one happened, and she gets super worried when they happen. I was like, oh, I just phased out. And she's like, oh, are you okay? Like, do you need to sit down? No, I was like, no, stop drawing attention.
Right now, but,
yeah. I was like, stop drawing attention to me, because we were in the middle of the mall. I was like, I'm good, just let's keep walking. And so one happened, I didn't really think much of it. Literally, like 37 times they happened within like 10 minutes. Shit. Like, I was just like, it just kept happening. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, and she's finally, I was just like, all right, let's sit down, and we sat down and we just kind of were talking and, relaxing. And, they still were kind of happening. And it was just really weird, because I was like, this is odd. And I was starting to get worried. And, that's pretty much it though. And then we saw the movie Max, and then they stopped happening. And the movie Max was pretty awesome and not nearly as sad as it could have been.
Yeah.
And then, so that's it's not as good as Matt's. Matt's was fantastic. But...
Yeah, mine's not as good as Matt's either. Like,
mine wasn't that good. I didn't think it was that good. I thought you guys would have me.
I thought yours was absolutely fantastic. But what was yours, Lone?
No, mine was like, well, I was on a date, and usually, when you're on a date, you offer to pay first, right? So I was like, yeah, I'll pay. Go to the register at the till, and I had no money in my account at all, at all. And it's the most awkward thing when you have
I
to
actually
ask your
know
date,
that feeling.
yeah, to say, can you pay for the meal? Like, it's shit. It
Was
really
it a
is
first
shit.
date too?
I think it was a second date. But,
Okay.
oh, man, like, it's the worst feeling because you think, at least go 50-50. But when she has to fork out everything, fucking terrible. I felt so bad.
I had that happen recently, actually. We went out for dinner, and the first time we went, like, one of our first couple dates, I want to say it was like our third date, we went to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And the place was actually really good. And it was only, I didn't have that much money. It was when I was still unemployed, so I didn't have that much money in my account. I had like maybe $30.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I'll buy dessert if you buy dinner. I was like, okay. Luckily, dinner was only like $12. I mean, for drinks and everything. And this was a restaurant. It was only 12.
Shit.
I was like,
That's good,
yeah,
yeah.
that was okay, you know, so.
Yeah, like a bandit.
And then we went to like a gelato shop in like the rich part of Tucson, and that was like more expensive than fucking dinner. I didn't say anything about that because she, like I said, she went for dessert and I went for dinner.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I know that feeling of like having to ask your girlfriend to like can you,
and once
you
you're in
know,
a relationship, though, it becomes much easier. Like, it's easier with the 50-50. It's easier when I pay. It's easier when she pays because, like, the whole, you know, a man has to pay for the female, or, you know, man has to pay for man if you're gay. It doesn't really, you know, fly anymore. Like, you just pay whenever you want because you're courteous. Like, it's not like an unwritten rule anymore, I don't think.
It's like those first couple dates, the man should probably pay. Once it starts to go past like probably the second or third date, I'd say you can start, like for instance, like when my girlfriend and I do movies, we'll switch off. So I'll pay for the movie and she'll pay for the snacks, or I'll pay for the snacks. But you know, it'll switch off. So that's kind of what we do.
Yeah,
but
like eventually it becomes a 50-50 thing because you know, you're comfortable with each other. But initially you do kind of feel obligated to say, "Oh shit, I have to pay." You know?
I would say, the first couple, the man should pay.
I think well, for me personally, like I don't want to say I always feel obligated, but I always want to pay for my girlfriend. But like there are times like not really necessarily like I will allow you to pay for me here, but and you know, I'll jokingly say that to her. Like there are times I'll be like, okay, like I think I've earned her paying for my fucking meal this time, you know. But like I think that works. Like a good example for me.
There's been times where I've just not said anything while she's paid. This is such a scumbag move, but I've just like let her pay.
Well, not necessarily. Like a lot of girls will just be comfortable in saying, you know, I'll cover this one, and it should be the stage where that's okay. You know, that's fine if that happens.
Yeah, because yesterday when because for my 1 month with my girlfriend, we like originally wanted to go ice skating, but turns out there was ice maintenance, so we last minute went to a Yankee game.
That's pretty cool.
And so,
must be fucking nice.
And so after it, like I always told her about this. Like in the city, there's like these stands at South
New York,
Lawn.
real quick, New York City. Yeah. I know, Matt.
Sorry, I apologize because in New York, you know where we live, no specifics. Yeah, it's just called the city. In New York City, there are these stands that sell this thing called halal, which is like this. I believe it's Indian food or something. And there's a specific recipe that's like lamb over rice, I think. And it's got like this special sauce on it and stuff. It's really fucking good, especially for like these side street corner like little stands. They're really good.
Yeah.
And so I always told her about them, like, you know, have you ever had them before? She's like, no. And so we finally find one right outside the Yankee Stadium before we were about to catch our train. I'm like, hey, can I get a lamb over rice? And I'm like, hey, guy, what's up, man? Great to see you. You know, I was like, how's the new job treating you? And so I asked him, like, how much. I'm like, I realized I'm like, fuck, I don't have any cash. So I'm like, how much is the halal? He's like, $7, my friend. And I'm like, yeah. So I take out my wallet. I'm like, I go to check see if I have any cash. My wallet's just full of fucking gift cards because I put everything on my debit card. I really do.
I'm the same way though. I
just don't like carrying a lot of cash because then I just get mixed up and I feel like cash is just extra. So I look at my girlfriend. I'm like, fuck, and she's like, I could pay. I'm like, oh God, no. I'm like, well, I said we're gonna split it anyways. I'm like, how much do you have? And so she starts going through her wallet. I shit you not. She has $6. I'm like, I'm like, fuck. Because I literally like a couple days ago, I just had 2 singles in my wallet. I don't know where they went, but like I had 2 singles in my wallet. And I was just like, wow.
So did you have to like say like, we're not...
Yeah, I said to him, I was like, I know you have the food on the grill, but like, can you cancel our order? And he's like, yes, no problem, no problem. I was like, fuck, that's just
shit.
embarrassing.
That's sad. Yeah, I mean, I get what
I
like
just destroyed your toilet the day before, and now I can't pay for a whole.
like if they had a credit card or a debit card reader, you totally could. But you know.
Like that's the thing. I was just in a shitty position. I was like, what? Fuck.
That sucks.
It's a perfect example though of like I wouldn't have been able to do anything either because like I don't have like you said, Matt. I just don't carry cash. Like, you know.
Yeah, but like it was like, oh fuck in the moment, but afterwards I'm like, why did I care? Like we've been together for long enough where like if she paid for me for something, like it's not a huge deal.
It's not.
Like she paid for that whole day at the Yankee Stadium. The only thing I paid for was like my train ticket.
That's pretty awesome.
So,
nice. Although the train tickets in New York are an arm and a leg anyways.
Yeah, fucking $28-30.
Are you serious for a train trip?
Oh yeah, dude. My mom commutes to New York City. And her month-long like train pass is like $130.
Holy shit.
It's ridiculous.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
Wow.
It's only like an hour and a half, like hour 20 minutes. Like it's just.
But it's so much better than driving.
Yeah.
Trying to drive to the city's awful.
Well, then you have to pay for parking too, and I'm assuming that's even
and you
more
pay for
expensive.
tolls too, because you have like the bridge tolls and shit, and that alone is like $30.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's so expensive.
Yeah, New York's expensive.
Try living there.
Fuck that.
Anyways, our next question, our only gaming-related question, just so you guys have a little heads up on what's to come, is from @SirBatmanis, or Batmanis, I don't know. He asks, thoughts on a season pass for Fallout 4?
Nah, absolutely not.
No.
I hope not, because, funny enough, we were kind of complaining about them earlier. Rocksteady made that mistake with Arkham Knight, where like they were talking about all these features that are going to be in the DLC that weren't even announced for the main game yet. So it was like clear cut, like, we're taking this content that could be in your full game and setting it aside for you to pay another $60-$50 for.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck and you. Like, fuck you.
Like the Call of Duty fucking expansion packs when I used to play that game, or the season's passes. They're so expensive. They're almost as much as a full retail game in Australia. It's ridiculous. I think Australia, no joke, the season pass was like $40 to $45. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. I just look at like an example like it just bothers people like, and Battlefront right now unfortunately is just getting such a bad rap. And the second that they announce the season pass, it's DICE and EA. DICE and EA. You know that there's going to be a season pass. You know it. It's just a matter of time. And when they do, holy fuck, there's going to be just people are going to freak the fuck out.
See, I don't know why people are going to freak out. At this point, I expect it.
That's the thing. I expect it. And people are like, what do you really expect? Like, it's not going to happen because it's Battlefront. Like, no, it's Battlefront. That's why they're going to do it.
Yeah.
People are going to buy it before they buy the game. But I just don't like that shady business practice of selling me more content that could be in the full game before I even actually have the game. Like, if they announce the season pass on the day of launch and like, hey, pick up the game, and here's the season pass where if you're enjoying your playtime in this game, you can invest in this. You know, you don't have to buy it. Yeah. That's cool.
The season passes that I do really, really like, I don't like because that's a bad word to use, but say if you know that there are 4 DLC coming in the future, and I think Borderlands did this, and you pay for the season pass, and the season pass actually gives you a really good discount. That I don't mind. But then the season passes, which are like, yeah, we're gonna give you this awesome content that's already on the disc. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is this?
Yeah, like Destiny style. They're like, here's some new DLC, but then like someone a week ago found all of it on disc, just hidden, like a new planet and everything. I was just like,
I think Street Fighter did that. Like there was a character on the disc.
I think it was Mega Man.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, that's a joke. Like I understand we're in a downloadable age. There's gonna be DLC, but like. And I like the way Bethesda usually does their announcement of DLC. They just kind of do what they did with the full games. They wait until they're ready to talk about it, and then they go, hey, we have more Fallout 4 for you guys. So I hope that they don't have a season pass for Fallout 4. If they do, like, I'm going to fucking buy it. Like, I know I will. I know I will. But I also think it kind of kills some of the fun. I kind of like the idea of, like, wondering when the extra content's going to stop rather than we have 4 packs and then, you know, you can buy all 4 of these packs for a discounted price with the season pass. And then like once that fourth pack comes around, you're like, well, this is it, rather than like what they did with Skyrim and the Dragonborn DLC. They were like, this is our last expansion for Skyrim. We're going all out with it. Enjoy. You know, I think that kind of like removes some of this sentimental value as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next question.
Next question comes from Holy Flame Wolf. He always asks like the best questions. I seriously think he's the greatest. So this one is pretty tough. He says, "What has been the most difficult thing you have ever had to do in your life, knowing it will affect others?"
Move to Arizona. Because
that was an easy one for you, yeah.
My mom still. God, why do you gotta get so fucking personal?
Fucking good question.
I still don't know.
It hurt a lot of people, but you know, it was it's something I wanted to do. Shut up. Fuck you. You asked the question.
All right. So I see a decision that I want to make in the short term, at least, seeing affecting a lot of people. I want to move out of home, but not only move out of home, I want to move to a different city. And I think that's going to really affect my mum in particular, because, you know, I've always been around at home, and even if I moved out of home, I would still be in the same city, but I want to completely go away, you know, entirely. So I think that would be a decision that would affect her and also my direct family. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say that you bring that up, well, that's probably the one thing that comes to mind that or either like when, like I said, if I continue to pursue schooling, then like going away to college, I think that would just like really just affect my family personally.
Yeah.
Because like because my job is stay at home, and the only time I'm out is when I'm with friends or I'm doing hockey stuff. So it's like I'm usually home most of the time. So like not having me around is going to be like a really weird change for my family.
Well, that's my mom. That's what affected my mom the most. You know,
and
because my mom basically it was just me and her living together. So when I moved, it was her, and it was just like that hit her like a semi truck.
Yeah. Like, it's the realization that eventually your kids are going to grow up and they're going to move out. And at times you see your parents saying, oh, you know, I remember when you were this little and now you're all grown up. Yeah. It hits home really hard because
it does.
You've been with them for, say, let's 20 years, for example, and now you just get up and leave. Like, it's a tough time. It really is.
The ages of like 18 to 20, you do a lot of growing up, or at least I have. And,
definitely.
I think everyone does. Anymore.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think everyone does. You know, and
you start to expand your thinking.
Yeah, it hits, and I know a lot of our listeners are probably, younger. I'd say between the ages of 13 to 18. You know, and if you're still in high school and you absolutely hate it,
you need to stop.
Love it because I miss. If I could rewind back to the first day of freshman year of high school or like sophomore year, I fucking would in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Life was so much simpler back
then. The worries you have, like,
does this girl like me? Will I have the good teachers? Like that's simple.
That
shit.
means fucking nothing. You know what I mean? And it sucks to say, but it's what the truth of the matter is. Yeah. It all changes.
Like, you grow up, you have a lot of freedom, but with freedom comes responsibility, and that's the
hard part.
Yeah.
That's why before I had said that I developed the seizures after high school, that actually is from learning how to deal with stress and how my mind with stress. Yeah, and apparently my mind does not cope with stress very well. Yeah. So, but that's my point.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting deep. We're
getting
oh, but it's so true. Like I like after I graduated high school, there was just this period of time where like I just did this.
You were lost. And so was I.
Yeah, but you were lost. But then like right when college started, like I just hit this like growing up phase where I started to like look back on myself. Then I'm like, okay, this needs to change and that needs to change and stuff. Like like a habit I used to have last year that I kind of learned through Time Hop, funny enough, an app, out of all things, was I used to like post my thoughts on everything, like every fucking thing I had to say something on Twitter, and I was looking back on that on Time Hop, I'm like, I need to just say less stuff, like people A, don't care, and B, I need to keep things to myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so like that's one thing I've kind of worked on. As I say that in the podcast, we roast Anita Sarkeesian and KSI in, but regardless.
Well, to be fair, they both deserve it. But for me,
normally they care, but.
Like it's funny you mentioned that because I remember very soon after we graduated high school, I got my first job at the grocery store, Matt, that I worked at, and I was a pretty I don't want to say quiet kid, but I was how I am with my group of friends, and that's pretty much it. You don't know anyone else really.
No.
After so when you got a job, you start to have like coworkers and you start to interact with in this circumstance I was interacting with customers a lot, and it's like you learn a social skill that like you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
And now working at the watch shop that I work at, I'm a salesman, so I'm talking to customers all day. But it's like that's a very valuable thing to learn and to be able to do, I don't know a lot of 14-year-olds who could do that, but you will learn how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
No, I was going to say that a lot of kids when they're young, they're saying, I don't know how to talk to people. I'm really shy. But when you grow up and you get a job and you have to interact with people on a different level, I guess you're thrown into the deep end, right? But
you just accept it.
You learn to adapt. You learn to grow those skills. And for you guys, like for example, in America, the drinking age is 21, so you can't go out to a club and stuff. But that's a whole nother different kettle of fish. You learn to talk to people, on that kind of level.
People you've never met.
Never met before. Yeah.
This is the first night you're meeting them, and you're just,
Yeah. And you're both out there just wanting to have a good time, talk to people, meet new people, and it's a different experience, but it's a great skill to have, being able to be approachable and talk to people and sociable, because it applies in every single aspect of your life.
Well, and sorry, go ahead, keep going.
No, I was just going to say, like, once you learn those skills, how to conversate, and then it helps you in your career because you know how to talk to people. You become a salesman or saleswoman for your own person and for your own career. It's a valuable thing, but you only really develop that once you hit, for example, in Australia it will be 18 because that's when you can start going out. But
it's pretty much 18 everywhere else except for America. It's 21. But it's funny you mentioned that too. Is expand. If there's like one thing of advice I could get, and I'm not the oldest person in the world to give advice, but my point is something I've learned is I was a pretty Matt, you and I both were not a part of
anything. No, like
high school.
The kind of sad part is that I'd say mine and Noah's fondest memories of high school was less of us hanging out and more of us just hanging out on Xbox.
I talked to Matt more on Xbox than I saw him in person. Although I saw you a lot.
Me and Noah are still best friends, and but we had classes together, we hung out and stuff, but most of the time we were on Xbox together.
But my point is, we as someone who did not do anything extracurricular at all, I went to school and came home. I never even went to a high school football game.
Same.
Ever.
Same.
So it's I kind of regret that. And my point to this is, in order to gain those social skills, you do need to say yes and go out of your comfort zone a little. For instance,
absolutely.
I was at work. It was very shortly after I moved here. I was still working in the grocery store out here. And someone who I said probably good morning to once came up and was like, "Hey, you're Noah, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm hi, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Well, I'm having a party at my house. Why don't you come?" And it was like, and my mind was like, what the fuck? Say no. You have no idea who this person is. But my mouth just kind of went, sure. And I went, and it was fucking awesome. Nothing crazy happened, but it was fun. You went, you talked to people, and you went out of your comfort zone. And that's what if you're about to graduate college or high school, and you or just graduated high school, and you're kind of like, just take those chances because.
That's the only way you really develop as a person is when you actually put yourself into those awkward situations and you're out of your comfort zone. That's when you really learn. If you stay in your comfort zone and be in your own safe little bubble, when you're eventually approached with those situations, when it's going to happen, inevitably, then you don't know what to do. But if you actually try and do co-curricular activities, like play a sport. Team sports are great. I remember playing rugby and I was this small skinny little shit and I would get my ass kicked, but it was fun. It was a team sport and I would go back every weekend wanting to play because it's kind of camaraderie with the teammates, and you learn to talk, and then you do team events afterwards. That's really, really important to do. Don't be sheltered at home. Try and get out and talk to people.
I agree, because kind of leading off of what you said about sports, I'd say when I first actually mentally realized I'm actually coming out of my shell and being more social and talking to people I've never met before easier was when I started working out and I started playing hockey. It was which was about a summer, a year or two ago. And I started working out and I just met this group of guys at the gym and they ended up becoming close friends of mine, kind of. I don't really talk to them as much because I don't play basketball anymore. I just play hockey. But then I started going to rank, and like my friends would come, and then we just meet up with these random people, and we just ask them if they want to play pickup games and stuff. And like what used to be like an idea that I'm not saying I used to sit at home and dream of playing hockey games, but I'm saying like what used to be like just like a thought of like, oh, I can never see myself going out of my way just up to someone random and saying, hey, you want to play a game together? Hey, you want to come chill with us for a little? That was just an idea, and like I slowly started to realize, oh, like I can actually just go up to this person without
there's
feeling
nothing wrong with that, you know. And they'll see you and be like, yeah, sure, you know, let's play. Or if they don't want it, they'll say no. You know, it's like don't be afraid of rejection or of any sort. You know, it's like if they say no, or if something happens to where it doesn't work out as necessarily as you wanted to, that's gonna happen. You know, it's completely unavoidable, but you still take that chance.
Absolutely.
This fucking got deep.
And it gets deeper with the next question from Poopster5000, the final question. Like
Poopster's in my real quick. Poopster always comes in my fucking chat.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, a question that I think is good for all of us right now in this point of our lives. How do you maintain a relationship?
Oh Jesus. I can tell you. Okay, real quick. Okay. Depending on a relationship, okay, if you're talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, that's one thing. If you're talking about dating, that's a whole nother. I'm going to talk about boyfriend, girlfriend. Yeah. Do not be clingy. Don't let your imagination think that what you're thinking is happening and what is actually happening, let that get the best of you. You know, odds are what she tells you, you know, is the truth. And I'm saying this from experience. I've had issues with, like, getting to, like, thinking, like, oh, well, she lying to me. You know, it's like she's probably not. Yeah, it's like she's probably not. You know, everything's fine. You know, it's you don't overthink things.
Yeah. I still have a bad habit of that today. Honestly today, like I'm having one of those kind of days where I'm looking really deep into what she's saying because she's really quiet, to tell you the truth, and I'm like, is this so out of character for her? You know, and she's like kind of being a little sassy and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
you know what? Exactly. And real, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like,
no, I just wanted to point that as an example.
I told you guys this before. I'm not going to say it again because I don't want the whole podcast to know. But I said that something had happened with my girlfriend the other day, and she's a little affected by it, you know, and it wasn't a good day for her. But, you know, rather than, you know, thinking, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Like I'm so sorry, whatever I did. You know, just, hey, you know, is your day going okay? Like, don't
blame yourself first. Far.
Also, if you are having one of those days where you're thinking into everything, go out and do something. Text every one of your friends that you know and say what's up. You know, or keep yourself busy in some form, because odds are she's just busy. You know, it's not the end of the world. You know,
and I think the best way to try and maintain a healthy relationship, honestly, and this seems odd to say, but make your own personal time, because it's normal for people want to just spend time on their own or spend time with their friends. You don't need to spend every waking second with your significant other. It's not healthy. Yes. That is not healthy at all.
And that's something I've had.
The second year apart. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. That's something I've had to learn, because my first girlfriend we spent all the time together. And this current, the girlfriend I have right now, I had a, you know, there was in betweens, but the serious girlfriend I have right now, you know, it's like something I've had to learn, where it's like, okay, we don't have to, you know, it's like, and that's what this was early on, but that's what I'm saying though, in terms of the overthinking thing, you know, just relax, you know, it's totally natural. You know, if a week is busy for you guys and you only see each other 3 times in a week or 2 times in a week, or, you know, that's fine. You're a grown-up, mature thing, you know?
Or if you're, like, I think you're long distance as well. Like, my girlfriend, she's, in August, she's going away to school. Like, I'm probably going to see her, like, twice within 4 months, you know, and then she's going to come home. So, yeah, it's going to suck. But, like, what I wanted to lead into with that is that part of how to maintain a relationship is you want trust. Yeah. You want to trust that person. Exactly. I'm not saying, like, having that little fear in the back of your mind and like that skepticality in the back of your mind, like that's perfectly normal in my opinion. But like you want to be able to trust them, where like if they're gonna go out and like go to a party or they're gonna go hang out with some friends, you're not gonna think first thing, she's fucking cheating on me. Like you just let them live their lives, because you know chances are if you pick the right girl, which you most likely have, they care just as much about you.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? When you spend too much time with someone, the minute that you separate and then do something else, you don't trust them because you're thinking, oh, I'm with them all the time, and now she's gone, or now he's gone. What's he doing? What's she doing? But when you actually naturally let yourselves have space, you're less skeptical about what exactly they're doing. You know that they're just being a person and living their life, and you'll meet when you guys, have the time, and then it's not this clingy thing where it's unnatural. I think it's really, really unnatural for you to try and spend all the time with each other, because then you don't learn how to trust. Because that's the key, right? You don't necessarily know what your girlfriend or your boyfriend is doing, but you know that they're just living their life, and you trust them because you've spent enough time away from them to be able to know that.
Yeah. And again, I say this from experience. It's just something I've had to learn, and it's not been that fun. But again, you click into this kind of like, okay, relax, and just chill out. Because that's kind of how I was yesterday. I was having one of those kind of days, Matt, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of had to snap out of it. And she ended up calling me later, and, for the most part, everything was fine, and she just it was just a busy day,
Yeah. I also recommend, it's really hard to do so in your first relationship, and you kind of won't learn until you go through like a breakup. I think personally, I haven't seen someone go in their first relationship, but like go in with your eyes open. Yeah. Don't be deceived rather. I think the proper word is by like, we're in love, we're gonna be together forever, and like everything's gonna work out perfectly. We'll never break up. Because I had a girlfriend, my first ever girlfriend, who was like my carbon fucking copy. Noah can vouch for me. Her and I were identical, and I was massively in love with her. I thought there's no way this can ever end, and truth be told, she ended up cheating on me, and I was devastated because I thought nothing would ever happen between us. And, that was my stupid decision, partially because I thought nothing would happen. Something did happen.
It's
so
hard.
In this relationship, I'm not saying I'm like fucking skeptical with her, but like I'm not like brain dead clueless. Like I'm aware, I'm a normal person. I'm not like this lost puppy dog when I'm next to her,
And another way to build trust too is if something is bothering you, do not be afraid to say something about it. And you don't have to be funny. Just if something what?
No, I'm saying like that's like the toughest one. Is like when you're
do not be afraid to say it. It's not easy, but let's put it this way. If you guys are truly a relationship and she does like you or he does like you, depending on what perspective it is, don't be afraid to say, and I've had to do it, and it's kind of weird to do, and then at first you do it, and then you realize like, she's like, oh, I didn't realize I'm really sorry. Or she might come back with something else. It doesn't necessarily mean, it's a lot easier to calmly, like, look, I'm not really mad. However, I'm not really a huge fan when this or that, whatever. It's a lot easier saying something like that than sparking it from a fight. Yeah. Because she's not going to be like, oh, I'm breaking up with you if you say something calmly. Yeah. And if she does, then
that's not the right girl.
Yeah, then don't fucking move on.
Yeah, because part of a relationship, you got to think, you want to be human around each other, and it's natural. That's what someone will say, regardless of how close you are with them. They'll say something that will bother you, and you're going to want to say, hey, that's not right, or hey, I disagree. And if you can't do that around someone, then not why are you with them, but rather like, you should be allowed to say that. You shouldn't be walking on cracked eggshells around them like, oh shit, I shouldn't say that to them, Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? You don't want to... If you let things bottle up, that's when they come out in a fight, and that's not a healthy fight. Having those conversations where you open up and say... And even if it's a small issue that you somehow, snowball in your head, and you make it out to be this big thing, and you just talk about it, and he or she is like, oh, okay, that's cool, I won't do that. Or I didn't know you felt that way, I'll change. Or something like that. Just open up, because that's part of a healthy relationship.
Exactly. Give them a chance to change, and if they don't change, then there's a little bit more that goes into it. Talk to them again. If it still doesn't change, then and it really bothers you, then you need to start looking at what your priorities are.
And when you're younger, you don't really understand love. Like I went through it. You guys have went through it. Everyone has gone through it. You don't understand the concept of love. So when teenagers say, "Oh, I love you," this and that, we're going to be together forever, they don't really understand what they're actually saying. And then it's only when you get older and appreciate what love is and what actually works in a relationship and who you could see yourself being with. You know, it's a more tangible thing to say. So when you're young, don't be, I guess, fooled by the fact that, oh, you know, we're going to be together forever, because it rarely happens. Yeah.
One thing I also want to say while we're talking about this kind of stuff is that I've noticed that you want to be in a relationship where it's give and take. It's not just give. Because like when you're constantly, I think like I said, I look back to I learned a lot from my first relationship was that, you know, you if you're constantly giving and you're doing everything, you're setting up the plans, you're the one who's like giving gifts for just because, hey, I really like you, and you know, you just want to surprise them, you want to see the smile on your face and stuff. But they're like, I'm not saying like when you give a gift, you expect, sorry, I choked on my words. You expect reciprocation, but I'm saying like when they don't do little things to go out of their way for you, like you got to think to yourself, well, you know, are they just kind of sitting there expecting things? And that's why I really like my girlfriend now. She's always on the initiative with plans, and like she always comes up with great ideas for us, you know, and like that's why when I see her do that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down for like 15 minutes.
It makes you feel good too.
Yeah, it makes you feel good, but you also think, because you know they want to spend time with you, but you also think, okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of my time and look up a couple of ideas on where I could take her in return. And then you'd say to her, like, in a special way, like, hey, since you were so good to me on my 1 month, I want to do this with you. And, you know, you just kind of, it's like a back and forth thing, and that's what makes it healthy, because you're constantly giving back with each other, and it makes the gift of giving really fun, too.
Yeah, and I think that lesson can be translated to, you know, someone that you're actually attracted to and you're not necessarily dating, but you would like to get to know them. If you're doing all the talking, if you're doing all of the messaging and the texting, and they just seem like they don't give a fuck, then they probably don't give a fuck, and that's okay. You know, just because you're attracted to someone, it doesn't mean that they should be attracted back to you or talk to you. If they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to talk to you. Don't keep pressing the issue. If after 2 or 3 conversations you find yourself, you're always the one messaging and you're always the one trying to instigate stuff, and he or she's just not responding to that, then just walk away. Don't be angry, but just accept that that person might not be attracted to you like you are to them.
Yeah, and unfortunately that is gonna happen, you know. But it's you know, it's part of growing up.
It's hard, and I'll be the first to admit it is hard to not get mad when a girl doesn't like you back that you're really into. Yeah. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but like, they
just want to be fun, or friends. Sorry.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I just want to be friends with you, and it's just like, and especially when you have like that set like idea, but that's kind of what I wanted to lead into, because when you set expectations, and I ironically, out of all places, learned this from Tinder. When you set expectations on what you want to have happen in a relationship, what you want from someone,
it'll kill it.
It will ruin it, because they feel like they have to meet this bar. And I'm not saying like when it came with girls to me, I set bars and stuff, but like it would just naturally kind of happen with certain things. And they, you know, she'd say, like, this girl said to me, she's like, I feel like you just put too many expectations up on me. And I looked at myself, I was like, you know, I realized I'm kind of right. Yeah. You're kind of right. You know, I'm like, I decided to change that, and it's definitely for the best, because now because I know what it's like to have expectations put upon me in a relationship, and it's awful kind of to a degree, because you want to like meet up to that. That's like when like it comes to gifts and stuff, you don't tell the price of stuff, because then they want to spend either match that amount or more, get stuff like that.
Get them something they like, you know, and
then if they ask how much is it, it'd be like, don't worry about it. I just thought of you when I saw it. Yeah.
But that's a really good point, is expectations. You know, that was I'm working on that myself. You know, is dealing with that set expectation, because, you know, otherwise you just get crushed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, you just don't want to fucking do anything. You know, but a main thing is, as long as you keep yourself fairly busy in a relationship in terms of just like your life, and, you know, while balancing it, everything for the most part should work out.
Yeah. And one thing that I will say as well, and when I say this, it might be a bit stark, but be a little selfish sometimes. If you ever come to a crossroads where you need to make a decision, for example, your study or your life, don't base your decisions around the person you're currently with, because it's not necessarily that chances are you might not be with them in the future, but it's more that make sure at the end of the day what matters most is you, because you're trying to improve your life, you're trying to live your life, and if you base your decisions around your significant other and then that relationship falls to shit, then things could look really bad for you and you feel like crap, because you've, you know, made this decision for your partner and now your life is a bit stuffed, you know? Like, make sure that you're selfish in that sense. Whenever it's an important decision, an important choice, and you think, wow, I really should take this offer. It's a job, or it's studying, or it's travel, or you just want to spend time with yourself. Do that, you know? Like, it's okay. That is fine. It's just fine.
Yeah. And it should be encouraged. Like like I said, my girlfriend's going to a very big university this coming semester in school, and I'd honestly imagine most boyfriends would be like, you should stay home, you know, like I want to see you. But like, I'm encouraging it because I think personally, I think it's attractive to have a woman with a good head on her shoulders who knows what she wants. Yeah, and so like I'm like she's like, you know, when we first started dating, she's like, I want you to know I am going away, you know, I want to be with you without a doubt, but you'll see me less. And I'm like, I'm entirely aware of that, and I want you to go. And she was like,
that's not going to be easy, man. That is not going to be easy. But I think you guys seem good enough. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, you want to encourage that stuff. If you're with someone, you want to be able to let them know it's okay for them to prioritize themselves. And being selfish in the way where like, there'll be some days you'll have to choose between your friends or your girlfriend, and let's say you haven't hung out with your friends in a while, you're gonna have to tell your girlfriend, look,
exactly.
You know, I already had plans set with them or something like that, or there would be certain days where you might have to tell a white lie and just want to stay home for yourself. And I've done that in the past,
and I think some people don't understand that.
But
there are some days where I just want to stay home and do nothing, and that's okay, you know. Like, you don't always have to give in and say, all right, I'll hang out with you, or I'll ditch my friends, or I'll ditch my plans just to spend time with you. It needs to be to the state where you're making decisions which are a little bit selfish, but they're for you, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. You matter to you, you know. And if no one's looking out for your best interests, like if you're not looking out for your best interests, rather, then no one else will. It's up to you to do that.
I just thought of one other thing too. This is a great conversation, but I thought of one other thing that's really important. Okay, like doing stuff in a relationship is pretty common. We know what I'm talking about when I say doing stuff.
Sexual stuff.
Yeah, sexual. Yeah. And so
no rush.
Yeah, there's no rush, but I've also learned that I'm not saying fuck in the first week, but I'm saying like when you let just the moment take its course and just decide what's good and what's bad instead of saying instead of saying like, okay, at 3 months we're gonna do this and at 1 year we're gonna do this. Like, no. That's like kind of goes to the expectation things. Like, you don't do that.
Let it happen.
Just let it happen. If you're together for a fucking month and you fuck, but that felt right,
fine.
Good for you. That's fucking perfect.
And
you know?
I hate it when I hear, oh, they've been dating for 1 week, for example, and they've already had sex, or she's such a slut. I fucking hate that word. I despise it with a passion, because if you're going to call girls sluts, call guys sluts too, because otherwise it's a double standard, right? If they're okay, if they're happy with having sex, you know, really, really short term in their relationship, then that's their decision. Let them be, and if it's not for you, then it's not for you. You know, it's not your place to judge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that in because I know that's like a core part, and people get like nervous. I'm like, oh, well, we did it a little too soon. It's like, it's like, no, you didn't do it too soon. You did it when you wanted to, and that's all that.
Pressure. Yeah, you know, just do it when you want to.
And just remember, it's your business. So when people ask, you don't have to tell them. You might sound fucking like a stud, being like, yeah, fuck this many girls and whatnot.
When you're asked on a podcast watched by 50,000 people, you know, no pressure.
But that's the thing, though, right? Yeah. Like, everything is better with the benefit of hindsight. Like, you can always look back on your decisions and think, oh, well, what if I did that? What if I did that? The question that's the most important to us is if, at the time, was that the right decision? And if the answer is yes, then you've made the right decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So don't beat yourself up for thinking, oh, I shouldn't have had sex at that time. You know, I wasn't ready. You know, it was too early for us. If it felt right, and obviously if you practice safe sex, then that's okay.
I was gonna say, I just please be fucking safe. Like, I know you probably you're tired of hearing it. We're an after special at this point, but
we really are.
Just don't be a fucking idiot. As someone who's had scares with it, it's not fun.
I've had scares too. Noah, don't.
Yeah, it's not fun having that phone call. You know, it really isn't.
And like when it happened with me, I was like, you're in the moment, right? And you're thinking, what's the worst that could happen? I don't have any protection, but we'll do it, right? But you are opening yourself up to so much risk. And it's not necessarily the pregnancy, it's the HIV and the STDs. It's all of that.
More,
You know, you really need to take care of that. It's so fundamentally important, which is why I wish more schools would teach that. if you want to have sex, that's okay. Please practice safe sex. It is so important.
Yeah.
It's also, like, I don't mean to sound like a health school teacher here, but, like, honestly, it's the fucking easiest thing to put on a rubber. Like, it's as a guy, it's not hard. It literally, you walk away for a minute max, and you are good to fucking go.
And I think, although I think some of the people, some of the younger viewers maybe, and I mean younger as in like maybe 13, 14, maybe like may think it's weird to buy those in like a, you know, like a CVS or something.
I am such a
it really isn't. Just pick them up, buy them, and walk out.
Unless you're like me and you walk in and you put box of condoms on and then a Father's Day card down and then a fucking can of Arizona down.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's fucking brilliant.
If you're going in there, go in there for that one thing.
But seriously, you know, just buy it. Here's the thing: the cashier is there. They see so many fucking different things. They'll see it. They'll probably think it's a box of fucking mints. They don't care.
Or they'll know, but it won't be like they won't go home to their family and be like, "You won't guess what happened to me."
Exactly.
Yeah, they'll see it and be like, "Is that all, sir?" You know, it's like they don't give a shit. You know.
They might get a little jealous because, you know...
They might get jelly. Yeah, they might get jelly.
So put it on the fucking counter with pride. Yeah.
It's awkward, right? But you're going to be thanking yourself later. Trust me, you will. It's such a... it's really awkward. Don't get me wrong. The first time that I had to buy condoms, it was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm shaking. I'm that nervous. But you walk away thinking, oh, well, that wasn't that bad. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, unless you're alone, that box will last you forever. But a while, you know.
Guys, let me tell you guys, once you reach that time where you can actually go out to clubs, that's when you really start living life. And that's why I don't like the term slut or anything like that, because it's not my business with how many people that you sleep with. Like, I have friends that have slept with so many more people than I am, and I'm like, yeah, cool. It's not like, oh, I'm a stud or anything like that, but you're a human. Yeah. Do what you want. No, it's not. Like, and that's why I won't confidently say my number on a podcast, because I'm not trying to show off. It's more that you're a human, you're an adult, you make your own decisions.
Yeah, if that's true.
And it's like the counterfactual. If you say, "Oh, I'm such a stud because I've slept with this many people," then the counterfactual should be true, right? If you've slept with no one, then you're a loser. That's not true. That's such a bad way of thinking about things, and I really despise that. If you've only slept with one person or no one, then who cares? That's
not a big deal, yeah. And that's another thing. If you are older and still have your V card, you know, let's say you're 19 or 20 and you still have your V card, that's not a big deal. I mean, I think it's more common than you think.
Yeah.
You know, I will say none of
Well, I'll put it this way, right?
Matt just linked a friend of ours that we know who still, but it's really not a big deal.
It's like, the reason why you don't hear about it, like, this person's a virgin, that person's a virgin, because that person's not openly saying I'm a virgin because they're so scared of it, you know?
They just keep it to themselves, you know, and when you do meet that person where you finally want to use it, you know, they'll obviously know, hopefully you told them.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, then you didn't, they'll probably be able to figure it out, but, you know.
As a guy, they might not be able to. You can usually handle yourself. It's pretty fucking simple, but as a girl...
Yeah. It's not that simple. I don't know. Okay.
But, that's a different topic. That's a different discussion.
But, you know. But it's, you know.
And put it this way, right? Don't build up your first time like it's going to be this awesome magical thing.
Geez.
It's going to be awkward as shit.
Fucking awkward, yeah.
But you get
that was actually one of the questions I replaced, so we can kind of answer that now. They're like, was your first time awkward or was it
awkward?
I've told that. Yeah. It was behind a Panera. I've gone through this. I still get fucking memed.
You do. It's
like coming into my fucking Twitch chat. Hey, Noah, heard you.
It's on the menu for Panera today.
Like, I had someone make a Photoshop of it. Yeah, it's hilarious. You know, I can't repeat that, you know, but
it's gonna be awkward. Just like, put it this way: the first time you try to ride a bike,
gonna know what you're doing.
Yeah, like you're gonna fall off that bike because you have no idea what you're fucking doing, right? It's just happened. You're not gonna be an expert day one. Just let it be. You'll gain confidence, and eventually you become good at it. That's it.
And honestly, I'm saying this completely. Don't be afraid to use the internet.
Yeah, don't.
You can prepare yourself mentally at least.
Pornhub is brilliant.
No, don't, no, that's different.
Yeah,
That's different.
don't try to mimic that.
Don't mimic
like,
that.
Yeah,
No.
especially when it's a girl's first time. Don't try to fucking mimic that. Like, whoa.
Oh man, I forgot about that with you. That was
Wow.
Oh Jesus! Also bring a towel.
Dear God. So, alright, to sum up a very, very long conversation, I think that the key for that for me, practice safe sex. Fucking please. Do that for me. Thank you. Shit.
Don't be silly. Wrap up your dick.
Yes.
Not Willie. I just said dick. See what I...
Like, protect yourselves, please.
And tell everybody.
Oh.
No.
I hope they know it's a joke after that, like, 20-minute discussion.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing, alright? Keep it to yourself. Unless, like, you're being anonymous about it and you're not saying who it is, don't say, oh, bro, you know Brittany? You want to know what I did with her? Like, don't do that. That's...
Brittany's such a fucking slut.
Like, exactly. I hate that.
I'm just kidding.
I despise that. Despise that word.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But,
anyway.
Yeah, keep it to yourself. But anyways, this has been a long ass podcast, so we got to cut it off here.
Yeah, shit. Good podcast, guys. Good talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Team fist bump.
All right, guys.
Do the mic.
I just punched the shit out of my mic. Oh my god.
Over. All right.
Alrighty, guys.
I'd like to
So,
close
who
this
wants
one
to
out.
end the podcast?
Oh, who's closing this one out? We haven't already?
No?
Nah.
Oh.
Still going.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Week 20, Ham Radio Podcast. All right. Peace out.